evening. I think it might be evening for a lot of people right now. Where are the Z's, Sin? Are you already falling asleep? Are you catching up on some Z's? Oh, speaking of catching up on some Z's. Oh, but how's everyone doing today? I hope you guys had a good what's today? Tuesday. I hope everyone had a good Sunday, at least for the US side of things. I think it's still Sunday for a lot of us, but I guess, is it Monday yet for some people on the other side of the world? So, you know how I said I wanted to, like, my computer was starting to get kind of laggy. I don't know if it's my computer or it was the internet, but I'm like, oh, maybe it's my computer's way to tell me go to bed. Guess who didn't go to bed? I ended up reading some more, and then I started looking up into like the recs that you guys gave as well. I don't know if you guys were like purposefully giving recs or you were just like asking me if I read this and that, but I ended up looking into them and I'm like, ooh, that guy's that one's kind of handsome. What was it, like the flower path something? I started looking into it, but I think like okay, maybe I shouldn't go into spoilers, but I started looking into spoilers because I wanted to know what it was all about. So there was that, and I snuck in a few more chapters of the book I'm reading as well. Oh, and then today, of course you did. Of course I didn't sleep early. No, I didn't. Hello, yeah, I want to drop in and say hi. I'm now low energy mode, so I will be going a bit early today. So good night, y'all. Good night, Vivid. But thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I didn't. I knew I wouldn't. But I'm like, okay, at least I stopped stream early enough so that I still had like 6-ish hours of sleep. And the thing is that like I prefer 10. Like 10 plus would be wonderful. Honestly, if it was like 12 hours plus of sleep, I get a little bit groggy after I wake up. But 10, beautiful. 8, I can deal with 8. But 6? It was bad. Every night I'm like, no, I'm gonna sleep by this time, so I'm gonna get 9 hours of sleep instead of even 8. You know, I've been like kind of brushing by with 6 almost every night because I freaking found something that I wanted to read. So you guys did not help with that. But the good thing was, last night, actually no, it was this morning when I woke up. I didn't prepare my coffee yet. Usually I prepare a coffee at night. I pop it in the fridge, and so when I need to go to work, I just go and I grab it. 6 hours is good sleep hours. Sure it is, and sure. Did you say 6 is like a lot for you? Didn't you say like usually like you go for like 4 to 5? But I usually prepare my coffee at night because I know in the morning I'm either rushing, trying to get out on time, and so I forgot about it last night because, you know, we were chatting together, or at least I was yapping your ear off, and so I forgot about it. But this morning I'm like, I'll be good because the cafe in my workplace right now is closed, and so I ended up making a coffee this morning. So it's 2 shots of espresso. I made my coffee. It was 2 shots of espresso, a little bit of some water, and like a little bit of like this what was it, like a mocha toffee creamer. It's just a little bit of everything, so like the espresso taste is really still concentrated. You're buffering. Are you awake, Ignacio? Do you need coffee? So I was so proud of myself for prepping my own coffee because I forgot to prep my lunch for today. So I went into work, and like mid-ish day, one of my friends at work is like, hey, I'm gonna go get something at the cafe. Actually, it was someone else at work, and she was trying to DoorDash it. I'm like, oh, you know, she just started here. I don't know her very well. She's one of the new employees. So like, I feel bad. I'm like, ooh, you going there? Can I also add in an order? But my friend knew that she was having issues with DoorDashing the coffee. So my friend's like, hey, I'll just head out, grab coffee for everyone, and then come back. Thing is that this cafe, it has a lot of the drinks that I like. It has an egg coffee and a pandan milk tea that I really, really, really like. I guess stream was buffering for everyone then. Oh no! Was it? Heart see you, Urban. let me see. Let me check if... Okay, it says right now, my stream status is good, but hopefully, my computer doesn't kick me off again. So when it was initially one of like the new girls who was offering to grab us coffee, I'm like, okay, I'll get this one item. I'll get an egg coffee. And then when my friend ended up deciding to go instead, she looked at me and she's like, you sure you just want one drink? Are you sure it's just one? And I'm like, don't look at me. Don't look at me, don't ask me. I'm like hiding behind my little like sheet of paper. She's like, are you sure you don't want coffee and the panda milk tea? I'm like, don't. She's like, I'm gonna get both. I'm like, okay, then get me both too. It was buffering for a bit. Oh no. Okay, hopefully it behaves from now on. Banana matcha is a meme and tastes like grass. Do you think like just like banana matcha, specifically banana matcha that tastes like grass, or like matcha that tastes like grass? Because matcha is so good. The thing is that I really like pandan. Is it pandan or pandan? Flavored things, since that's what I had when I was little. I had a lot of pandan desserts since I was really small, and so at least pandan to me, I feel like it's a cross between vanilla and matcha. And so because it's such a familiar flavor to me, when I first tried matcha, I'm like, oh, this is just pandan. And so I've always really liked matcha. So you got baited by your friend taking the lead to pick up coffee 100%. When banana matcha tastes like banana matcha, it does. It tastes like both banana and matcha. So I ended up getting both. I think I actually asked her, I'm like, well, if you get two, then I'll get two. And she's like, I'm getting two. I'm like, okay. It did not take very much convincing. And so I'm like, ooh, I had banana matcha yesterday, and then I had both a pandan milk tea and an egg coffee today. I'm like, my addiction isn't going well. Everyone is just feeding into my addictions. At work, they're getting me all these drinks, and like I try to pay them back, but like whether it's lunch or like drinks, no one lets me pay them back. So I got that at work, and then yesterday when we were chatting together, when we were yapping, you guys were giving me all these good recs, and I started binging. It was so bad, as expected of you, Miss Lian. I wish it wasn't expected anymore. It was so funny. I think it was like a couple of days before this. I'm like, I've been so good recently. Instead of having like a coffee and a matcha and a this and a that, like I've been just drinking either water or like a little bit of coffee. Yeah, that went down the drain real fast. Honestly, if a simple drink motivates you, I'd say it's worth it. Yeah, cause like when it's so tiring at work, it's so nice to have a little pick-me-up. And like I'm a drink girly, so drinks are a beautiful pick-me-up. Oh, to answer your question from the other day about tattoos, I don't have any on my left because of nerve sensitivity. On the right though, they're over bone mostly. I thought it was more painful over bone. No, I think was it ankle tattoos, or was it around the knee? I remember someone was telling me that once they got into like the fleshier parts, it wasn't nearly as painful as compared to like over direct bone. Oh, there was also something I wanted to tell you guys. So I often will ask you guys questions, or like I'll ask you guys how you're doing, and then I'll keep on talking. It's not that I don't care what your answer is, but I also don't want to force people to answer if they don't feel like answering. So like I'll give you guys time to type it out if you want to answer, but I also don't want like awkward silence either. Yeah, over bone tattoos are supposed to hurt more, I guess. I was fine. I wish I can deal with pain as well as you do. I like I said before, I'm a baby when it comes to pain, and like the second I'm in pain, I just want to take a nap. So I'm kind of useless when I'm in pain. But like heat packs, they work so well. When I was traveling, I got these heat packs that like, you know how they have like, oh, what you got, like those like menthol patches where like it feels hot, but like it's cool to the touch, or not cool, but it's like it's not hot to the touch, right? Those are nice, but the ones that actually like heat up, those are so nice when it comes to pain. So I always like have a few at work just in case, because like they also work so well when it comes to headache. I had a really bad headache at work once, and usually Tylenol works really well for me. But there was one time I took a gram of Tylenol, and I usually like, I know usually around the hour mark is when my or the Tylenol will usually kick in, but this time it didn't kick in, and I already took a gram, and so like I couldn't take any more, and I was just like, I couldn't think. My head was just like pounding. I grabbed a heat pack, I put it on my like my shoulders, my neck area, just because I knew it was like a tension headache, and like within 10 minutes my headache was like mostly entirely gone. We've all got cute points. Yours just happened to be that one among others. Is that cute? Is it? Pookie is happy. Is Pookie me? Pookie? Is that me? And so during work today, luckily it was a very chill day at work, and so it was nice because on top of the drinks, my friend and I we were able to go on a little bit of a walk. I'm Pookie. And so we went on a short walk with each other, just chatting and also venting about work things, and just like I'm so excited for her for about to go on her trip. Oh. And right before stream, I was talking to my sister over the phone. So oftentimes, I'll talk to my sister at least once a day, usually right after work. So I called her up, and she was talking about my nephew. She's like, I think your nephew must have been a cat in his previous life, because they were napping together. He's still really young, so he still takes nap time. And she's like, all of a sudden, he wakes up and his eyes are like wide open. Not like the sleepy, I'm still kind of tired type open, but like a I'm awake and ready for the rest of the day open. And I guess he looked straight at her and he was like, Mommy, meow, 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 meow. And then promptly just laid back down on her and then fell back to sleep. And I'm like, that sounds so adorable. Like, I wish I was there. I wish she could have like video recorded that for me. I don't know about others, but I like answering if I bring up topics. I just couldn't yesterday because I was multitasking for my friend. No problem. Again, like I don't want to push people to answer if they don't feel comfortable, but if you guys do, I always want to see what your guys' thoughts and opinions are. I hope your friend is also doing better too, especially with their ex. I hope she finds solace in that the toxic ex is gone. That's right, nephew, that's right. I was trying to get my sister, like, because when I was on the phone with her, I was trying to see if she can get him on the phone and meow for me. Because that would have been so adorable. Possessed by a cat spirit, right? I'm like, I wonder what he was dreaming about to just start meowing all of a sudden. My phone is buffering. Is everyone else buffering? Because I'm looking at my stream health and like my dropped frames, and it's saying 0% for me, and it's saying that my stream status is still good. Let me double check. I wonder if like my internet recently has just been kind of out. No, I think no, it looks like it was good today, or wait, not today, but I think it looks okay. It was just bad yesterday and early in the stream. Oh, early in the stream too. I kind of caught on. I think there was like one point where I looked over. I'm like, ooh, I think I look kind of laggy. And at the other point where like I think like my this little like button I have on the side to see how my stream status is, it went to like yellow or red. I'm like, ooh, oh no. Like you were saying the other day, red flag in fiction is fun, but those same red flags IRL are a big no, for sure. It took 6 hours, but my friend ended the night cheery. 6 hours, wow. But then again, especially if you're like really devastated after a breakup or just like anything, right? Technically 6 hours isn't that bad to become cheery again, or at least like to get your mood picked up a little bit again. So I'm happy you were able to spend time with them. You're such a good friend. I remember one time one of my friends had a breakup. She was my college roommate at that time, and they had been dating for like I want to say since like her sophomore or junior year. But the thing was that her parents didn't know about him because they came from different ethnic backgrounds, and her parents were really hoping for her to date and marry someone from the same background. And so yeah, tea time. And so I can't remember exactly why she broke up, because I think it was, she must have been a second year in college then, so I think they had been dating for at least 3 to 4 years, and like they're married now. But even like 8-9 years into dating, they also had a bit of a rough patch there, and I think they broke up for a short time. But during college, I remember she was the one who initiated the breakup. She never ended up telling me the reason why, or like she didn't even tell anyone the reason why. Sad thing is, I don't think she ever told him the reason why. And so she was so attached, like they were both so attached to the hip to each other. I don't want to say it was codependency, but like they found their best friend in the other person. And so now that she's in college, like she did have some friends, but like she didn't have anyone to really eat lunch with or like to spend time with, because it was always spent with her boyfriend. So during that time, I remembered like we ended up almost becoming like attached to the hip too. Like it didn't help that we also lived together, because we both were roommates in like the same dorm room. It was just me and her. So many such cases, right? But lucky at least for my friend, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I thought about it a little bit later when I matured a little bit more. I think she might have been the toxic one. And like, you know how sometimes when you guys are friends, you kind of excuse at least like small things that friends do, not like the big red flags, but then after a while you're like, oh, the other person isn't the problem, you are. But I think they've all matured now, and they are all good. Hard to see you too, Urban. But they're all fine and dandy now. I think, oh my gosh, how long have they been together for? I want to say probably like 15 years. No, is it 15 years? No, it wouldn't have been 15 years. Ooh, I'm off. Ooh, my math is really off. So yeah, so they're happy, so I'm happy about it too. And even like my sister, the way she met her husband is so crazy. She was at school, and there was a professor at her school that was like, you're a good girl, you're a good student, like, you know, he thought she was a good kid, right? You do the type that immediately comments on things like that. But then sometimes like for me, like depending on how they paint the picture, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's normal. And then like from a bird's eye view, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not normal. I was young, okay. But my sister's professor, and like I think he was also in charge with like one of the clubs that she was into. Like he was really hands-on on that club that she was also very involved with. He's like, oh, you're single? Well, I have a nephew that's single. And like it wasn't actually a nephew, it was more so like a family friend of sorts. And so she's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, like if we have like a club meeting like at a or like a get together at a restaurant, if your nephew wants to come around, then like I'll say hi. And so he did just that. He ended up telling that guy to come, and it was my sister amongst all of her school friends. Like everyone there was from the same club, and everyone there knew each other really well. Oh stars, I was worried it was a student seizure thing. No, ew, no. I guess like in her circumstance it was like after high school, so they were all adults, but like that power imbalance. And so he ended up like coming along at this like club get together. I think it was like a sushi restaurant or something. And so she broke away, and like I think all of her friends were in like one table. She broke away and like went to say hi and like talk to him to kind of get introduced. And I think they might have sat at like the bar a little bit to chat before he ended up like, I don't know if he actually stayed. I think he, wait, no. I think he actually stayed, kind of joined in with her friends, and then like just ate dinner together, which like, kudos to him. Kudos to him, because like meeting all of her friends on the first meeting and like being sociable enough to end up staying is so scary. Just like in my anime. Oh, which one? Which one? Because like I've never heard of a story like this before where like the professor ends up like introducing like that. Is it scary? Is it scary? The anime? Wait, what happened in it? So fast forward a lot of time later, they now have 2 kids together. And it's kind of a crazy story, because usually for like stories like this, I feel like it doesn't go anywhere, right? You go on one date and that's the end. And the thing was that I didn't even know if she was going to even agree to go on that date, because the thing is that I can't remember what happened on his side, but they already had their first date planned out. And then I think like the day before, it wasn't like he gave her like a week's notice or something. I think around like a day before, he canceled on her, going like, something came up, can I reschedule to this day? And she was just like, he's making such a bad impression, like I don't even know you. I didn't even know if I wanted to go on a date with like my professor's like family friend, and now you're bailing on me last minute. But she was like, you know what, fine, whatever, I'll go on a date. If I don't like you, I can just call it off. And so she ended up going, and again, years later, they are now married. What were you saying? Doing what he did is meeting new people, like that's scary? Yeah? Okay, maybe I'm a little bit a lot of it introverted, but like, speaking of introverted, like one of my boss's boss, she is leaving for a different position in a different state. And when that happened, and like, or not when that happened, but her last day was within this past week, and we had a little get together for her, and we had a card from everyone on our department, or like all of my colleagues, and I was the last one to hold the card, so I had to give it to her. And then I realized, because I went along with a friend, because there was 2 cards, I went along with my friend. I'm like, oh, I'm actually supposed to talk to her, I can't just pass this off, say have a good day, grab food and leave. I actually had to talk to them. But yeah, like I barely want to meet one new person, let alone like 20 new people all at once, because like they all knew each other. Like my sister and her friends, like that club must have been at least in like the teens to the 20s. So all at once meeting all of her friends. And like, it's one thing if they were already dating and she's like, okay, I think it's time for you to meet my friends. No, it was their first meeting ever. I think rescheduling once is fine because life happens, right? A second time though, I agree. I think that's why like she was like, I suppose I'll be lenient. I think she was kind of being a little bit of a diva too. I think like she already, before he even asked her out, was like, I suppose I'll give you a chance. And then when he bailed on her, she's like, excuse me, you bailed on me? So it all worked out though. It all worked out. But she, like, I think she had been on only like 1 or 2 first dates before him. Maybe not even 2, maybe 1? Half of 1? Wait, no! I think he might have been the first person she ever even went out on a date with. He was definitely her first boyfriend, her first everything. And so it definitely worked out. Diva. Both of you guys think she was a diva? I don't know how much of it was her being a little bit nervous versus her going like, how dare he? If you're so introverted, what made you want to start streaming? Excuse Excuse me, yeah. I I don't know. I think part of it is I don't not that I don't like, but I'm better like one on one. Like one like if I am included, maybe an additional 4 people. I think like 5, like max 6 people in one room is like my safe zone. Anything more than that and everyone is new to me, and I just want to blend in with a wall and become a wallflower. But I think part of it is I was starting to like watch a lot of YouTubers. Maybe a lot is not the right word, but I started to watch some, and I really like the relationships between like VTuber to VTuber, and also between like VTubers and then their community. And I like how tight knit people can become, and how the community the community can end up developing. And I'm like, oh, I really want that for myself, and I feel like that feels a little bit more different compared to like networking or just like meeting people IRL. I feel that I think I do best one-on-one or small groups. Yeah, same. Like if I have like I'm much better with like having a really close friend, like just like 1 or 2 really close friends, the type that you can like spill your guts, right? Your deepest, darkest secrets. I really don't have any deep, dark secrets, but if I had a deep, dark secret, I'm the type to want to have just like a few people like that. I'm not the type that would be able to deal like 100 friends and not be like super close and like know everything about them. For real, even like when I visited one of my friends, like we had trained together. I've known her. It was the friend I was talking about yesterday, the one who was like super, super gorgeous. We had trained together before, so I've actually known her for a few years, but more recently when we started to work together, because we sat side by side, we ended up getting really, really close with each other, and that's why we ended up going to Japan. But she ended up moving. She ditched me. She left me. She's so far from me. She's like a country away from me now. And but like for her, when I saw her again after like being separated from her for like almost half a year or so, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, your niece, she must be like 2 or 3 by now, and your brother and his wife and this and that. And like her husband was kind of just like listening along to our conversation because they had picked me up from the airport, and he's like, how do you know so much? Like, how do you remember so much? I'm like, she's one of my closest friends. Of course I know these things about her. Of course I remember how old her niece is. Of course I know this and that. So I much prefer that type of relationship. So like when one of you guys tell me that you're a twin and that you're the older twin, or that your favorite character from Jujutsu Kaisen is not Gojo and is actually Toji, or how, you know, one of you guys was a butler, or like I like that type of thing. I like it a lot more. Deepest, darkest secret. Sleepwalks to make coffee in the middle of the night. It wasn't sleepwalking. It was pre-planned, okay? That's what I'm guessing your secret is. I might have sleepwalked once in my life that I know of. I think it was when I was like, I don't know, probably like 5, 6 years old. I could have sworn I went to my bedroom to sleep, and then all of a sudden I woke up and I was like on my parents' lap, like having my head on their lap. I'm like, how am I here? And they never told me what happened. Voices so pretty and calm, is it? Sometimes I listen back to my own stream so that I can at least do a little bit of troubleshooting and make sure like volumes are okay and things are going as they should. I feel like my voice is too high pitched, and like, you know how you can't quite tell what your voice sounds like? Your voice in recording sounds different compared to the voice that you hear inside your head. I'm like, why is my voice so high pitched? And I'm just worried. I'm like, do I still feel nervous? Do I still have like that pressured speech? And that's why I sound like that. Because I think there was one of the shorts that I had made and I just did a voiceover. It was after streaming that day. And I don't know if it was because I was tired, my mic settings, I don't know what was the difference, but someone even pointed out like, you sound different. I'm like, oh, do I sound different? And so I'm like, oh, I wonder if my voice sounds higher during stream because it's so high. Miss Anne, what a strong memory for interested parties. Oh, I got a sleepwalking spooky story my parents told me. Very neat. Wait, what's your sleepwalking story? I love the high-pitched voice. Well, I'm glad you do. I guess you guys must like it enough to be able to withstand hearing me talk for so long. It's so pretty. Oh, thank you, Urban. That's very sweet of you. I've heard before how like with like beginning streamers, how when they watch their debut stream and how they stream like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years later and their voice is completely different. I really want to compare between the two. I'm hoping, well, hey, so streaming for me will always be a hobby, even if I have a million bajillion followers. Like I'm not gonna ever quit my job. So because I'm gonna keep it at a hobby level, I hope there is longevity in it. So I hope like years down the road, I can compare how I sound now versus how I sound later. Listening to your own records. Who's this loser? Me. I'm the loser. Hello, it's me. I don't think your voice is high-pitched. It's very appealing and nice. I say, thank you. I find it annoying. Part of me, before I started streaming, or like in the process of like planning things, like getting my model, and then I heard like setting up the microphone can be a little bit difficult. I got the microphone, I wanna say like almost half a year before I even got my model, because I think I commissioned my model, I want to say I set out the commission or started looking to commissioning around February, April of last year. The commission didn't start till June, July, and I was told it could take around 6-ish months with both the art and the rigging. And by, I want to say by October, November, I already had a microphone. This is actually not my first microphone. I started playing around with it because I'm like, oh my god, is this what I sound like over recording? Am I gonna have to subject people to listen to this voice? So when I tell you guys like I'm not a big fan of my voice and I kind of feel bad making people listen to it, I mean it. I'm really not trying to like fish for compliments. Yeah, you have a nice voice. You should be a streamer or something. Yeah, something like that. For the story, as a young child, I woke my parents one night, clawing at the back door. They tried to talk to me, wondering what I was doing awake. Apparently, I turned to look at them, eyes open. Oh my gosh, cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. I'm like, should I wait? Should I wait? But I also, I don't want to have to pressure you to type faster, but maybe I should. Hey, Sin, can you type a little faster? Right. Stare at him. Stare at Sin. Or not him, sorry. Stare at them. Stare at Sin. But kind of going back into like being a streamer, I actually got a comment recently. Don't go looking for the comment. I got a comment recently going like, you know, you usually only have like 3 to 4 like viewers at a time and maybe like a couple of likes on your streams or your videos. Like what motivates you to continue streaming? And I'm like, I mean, okay, sure, like counts do matter. Like CCVs, I think concurrent viewers, I think, is that what it stands for? Like I know numbers matter. I know a lot of this ends up being a numbers game, but like this isn't gonna be part of my livelihood, so I never truly cared about it. But I'm like, but it's not 3 to 4. Like it's not a number because it's Sin, it's Karma, it's Ignacia, it's Nasa, it's Ryan, it's Mimi, it's Kay, it's, you know, it's all these names. Like it's all people. It's all like it's not like a number. It's a person, right? And so I think part of that also helps a lot too. Cause again, being an introvert, I honestly didn't mind if I was talking to myself the whole time. Not saying that you guys should leave, stay, but part of it is like honestly, when I first started, I expected my first stream, or like not even my first stream, probably like my first half a year or so, for me to be talking to myself, and I can use the excuse that I am streaming to say that I'm not going insane. It's because I'm streaming that I'm talking to myself. So even having just like one person on stream is like, oh hey, someone is willing enough to listen to my voice, to chat with me. And even if, you know, there's people who don't feel like chatting, that's okay too. People are giving me their time, and that's like probably one of like the most like coveted resource, right? Time. Because money, you can make money, but time is very finite, to me at least. And apparently with red marks on my face, I told them I have to get out. We have to get out. It wants us what? Please? Then I turned around and walked back to my room. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What did you pay? Like, what did they do? What did they say? Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Like, you know how I don't have kids, but I've heard people say, like, sometimes when they're asleep in the middle of the night and they, you know, you have that feeling of like someone watching you and you automatically just open your eyes and you see your kid, or like it's in the middle of the night and your kid is like at the end of a very long like dark hallway and you can't be freaked out because that's your own kid. I think you gave your parents a heart attack. Fine, I'll leave if you don't want me here. Don't you dare leave. You're all stuck here with me. This is just a live recording diary for you, a little bit. Or like I expected it to be. And so when that call is like, you only have 3 or 4, I'm like, what do you mean I only have 3 or 4 people? I freaking have 3 or 4 people. I've always been shocked, right? And like just seeing even like one person, I'm like, oh, one person is willing to spend some time with me. I feel like that's saying a lot. It's to a stranger essentially, right? Like for you guys, you know, that I've seen at least a few times, like we're not complete strangers anymore. But otherwise, for like first newcomers, like a stranger like willing to spend time with you, I feel like that's saying a lot. Kids are pretty freaky at night, that's true. They just stand there looking creepy. Right? And like my niece has said this before, because the house that my sister lives in, it's like I don't know what's the right word, like a family house, like a generation type house. Like it was her husband's grandfather who built it. So a lot of people throughout, you know, the generations have lived in that house. A lot of people who are no longer alive. And my niece has said like, oh, I dreamt of so-and-so, or like, who's sitting in that chair? And that chair was my brother-in-law's grandmother's chair. And she's like, who's that old lady sitting there? And my sister's like, okay, that old chair needs to go. At least put it in the garage, put it somewhere, but oh my god, no. That's 3 to 4 more people willing to listen to you, yeah? Right? Otherwise, I would be technically kind of considered insane. So thank you for being my excuse to say, hey, I am technically not insane. They said they followed me to my room to see what I was doing. I suppose they were freaked out enough to light an incense too, just to be safe. Wahaha. Spooked they were, yeah! If I knew of an exorcist, I would have called for one. Nowadays, what are they called? Like Etsy witches? I know probably when you were young, I don't know if like Etsy witches were a thing, but like nowadays, if I don't have some sage, some incense around, is there like a 1-800 exorcist available? And like even at the place that I work, there are certain areas that are a little bit more creepy, scary, but for some reason, I think when I'm in work mode, I am less easily terrified, because I am more terrified of work emergencies than I am of ghost emergencies. But when I go home and I'm sleeping in bed on my own and I think about things, I'm like, oh no, TikTok witches smack my head. But like, oh my gosh, I've always really wanted to learn how to do like tarot card readings. The thing was that in high school, and this was the era of time where like there were still a lot of videos that stay on YouTube a lot longer, even though they might be copyrighted. Like it takes a lot longer to take them off of YouTube rather than now. I feel like it's like almost immediate, right? And so I remember there was like this one night that I had a dream, like the drama that I was watching was like kicked off of YouTube, and how the user had to change their name. I remembered telling my sister that morning, and at home we have really slow internet, and so it wasn't like I was able to check before saying anything. Excuse me, saying anything to her. And that day when we checked in on the drama, that username did not exist. And my sister's like, oh my gosh, your dream actually is true. And like it wasn't like that it happened so common at that time where like I could have just like dreamt it randomly and it happened. And I think I had a few more of those dreams, and so we were telling our parents about it, because I guess back then when my mom, before she had us, when she was in her like teens to 20s, she knew how to read, like do palm reading, and she was actually pretty darn accurate at it as well. And after, I think she read a fortune once, and one of these fortunes, and then after that last one, she swore it off. Wahaha, we'll assume we're around the same age as what I had access to. We'd be old, Sin. Dial-up days, stop it. Well, listen, over here dreaming that videos off the internet, which it felt like, oh hi Karma, hi, long time no see. Being able to foresee if a YouTube video is going to get taken down sounds like the worst superpower. Okay, it's only happened once, but I think around, I can't pinpoint like all the other dreams that I had, but around the same time, I kept on having like certain dreams that would end up becoming true. So my sister and I started getting really creeped out, and my mom, or like, I think I would have feelings about something, and somehow it would kind of happen towards that feeling. And so my mom, who used to be a really good palm reader, I want to say, and she never actually told us the last palm reading that she had. We kind of vaguely have ideas of what had happened. She said that it was a bad palm reading, right? Because back then she didn't mince her words. She wouldn't just say like everything is good. So she told, I think it was like one of my dad's not like nephews, but like one of his cousins' sons, so like a second cousin, third cousin, I can't remember with the removals and whatnot, but she told him, and things kind of unfolded that way. But part of it for her is like, well, if she didn't say it, would it have actually unfolded that way? Or is it like oh my gosh, what's the word, like a self manifested type of thing? It's like if you think you're gonna do something bad, or you think something is gonna go wrong, your actions kind of end up making that happen. I can't remember what the right term is for that. And so I think after that, she's like, you know what, this is gonna be bad karma. And so she stopped doing it. And then with what we were experiencing at that time with my dreams and whatnot, she forbade me from ever doing anything like fortune telling. How are you? I'm good. Today I had a long day of work, and tomorrow I have another really long day of work, and then I'll have some days off. I'll be able to sleep in, and that's all I really care about. I really want to sleep in. It could be the best superpower if you do content like that one guy. I don't think I know that guy. But the thing is that like I really don't think I have any talent to like fortune telling or any like psychic type abilities. I don't know if I 100% believe in psychic abilities either. Oh no, she read John Wayne, what, Casey's palm or something like that. A self-fulfilling prophecy. Thank you. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Manifest or like self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. Well, I can't stay for long today. I was just stopping by. Okay, Karma. So I'm gonna go now, Sag. I'm Sag too. But I'm so happy you were able to come by and say hi. Bye, Karma. And so she didn't allow me to like look into tarot card readings or anything like that. And like even like the stuff that she knew about palm reading, sometimes like when we're curious enough, and if we ask her when she least expected it, she'll end up you know, teaching us a little bit here and there. But like it was so long ago, I was so young, like I don't remember anything else anymore. Number one? You are number one. How are you number one already? That's so fast. Uh, and so, oh, my dad's, or I guess, is he considered my second cousin? Because like our family lore kind of went a little bit deep too. Because before my family had moved to the States, they were, I wouldn't say they were like a prominent family, but in that little city that they were in, because it was bigger than a village, bigger than a town, but not like the biggest city in that country. In that city, they were a well respected family, well off enough and prominent enough because there was like a few family businesses. And like the family was big enough and they protected each other enough that most people in that city, if they had some kind of wealth, they would know my family. And so even after they moved to the US, they lost everything. They lost their money, they lost everything coming to the US, right? But they still had the mindset of we're better than everyone. And they also still kept that like you know, we protect our own. And it wasn't just protecting our own. I'm just that good. Karma. But they, I don't know if it's like a superiority complex. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but maybe at least a little touch of that. And so my my cousin, he had, I think he was a doctor. He was kind of, I don't know if he's still working as a doctor, but like from a good family, is-ish a doctor, has a good degree. I think he might have gone to like an Ivy League for either his med school or for his undergrad. And so his grandma, and like he was the firstborn son as well. And so his grandma thought the world of him, right? And so he ended up getting engaged to this beautiful young girl, and like he was head over heels in love with this girl. And I think around then was when my mom gave him the palm reading, and it was a bad palm reading. She never told us what the palm reading actually, like what she had read at that time. Bye. Explains where the villainous motif comes from. Wealthy background? No! We're really not wealthy. We're really not wealthy. Like, they left all of that when they came to the US. Oh, sounds like something from a drama. It is! And the thing is that, like, my family is very, like, hush-hush about, like, past drama like that. We'll hear snippets here and there, and then like as we grow older they'll tell us a little bit more, or like sometimes they end up slipping up a little bit and then we get the full story. And so he I remembered, I think it was like the full family was there. It was like a big family gathering, or at least his side of the family, there was a gathering. So it was his grandma, who again thought the world of him, his parents, who I think his dad was also a doctor, also a physician. His mom was kind of, and still kind of like snobbish, hoity-toity. Like she went to an all-girls French school, she knew multiple languages, she like went to like etiquette classes, right? So like this is like the young miss of like a wealthy family, because like their branch of the family definitely was a lot like more wealthy than like my branch of the family. And again, once we came to the US, that money was gone. Like by the time I was born, I knew nothing of this money. And so they thought very highly of themselves, and they thought very highly of him as well. And honestly, there was a lot of misogyny there too. And so with this family gathering, they were playing mahjong together, and his fiance was there and playing with, I think, his grandma and like maybe a couple aunties or something like that. And she was like, hey, so-and-so, can you grab me a cup of water? It wasn't that she said it in like a mean manner of her going like, hey, do this for me. Like, no, she was just like, hi, sweetie. Like, hey, sweetie, can you please get me a cup of water? I'm getting kind of thirsty. And his grandma, like my great aunt, was like, how dare she? How dare she order my grandson to do something for her? How dare she ask him to get a cup of water for her? And so she blew up. Like, it was the entire family against his poor fiance. I'd be all around your family trying to get the tea. What was it? Buscando el chisme, as my mother would say. So I don't know. I did learn Spanish back in the day, but chisme? Chisme, I know. That word, I know. Dear skies, I know, right? The audacity, I know. How dare she ask for a cup of water? Hi, Pretty from Toronto. Hi, Cherry Blossom. Cherry Blossom Fairy. Hi, Miss Fairy. Hi, Fairy. And so she noticed how the whole family, like his side of the family, turned against her just for asking for a cup of water. And so I don't think she used that as the reason why, but soon after that, she broke off the engagement with him. And after that, his life went on a downturn. I don't think he's even able to like practice medicine anymore. He went honestly a little crazy. Like, I don't know if there was already some crazy in the background that no one knew to begin with. But like, he unleashed the crazy as the years went on. It got worse and worse and worse. I think like being filial is like a big thing in Asian cultures, and so like you don't speak a certain way to your parents, and you definitely don't speak a certain way to your elders, like your grandparents. And like his grandmother doted on him since he was like a child, since he was a baby, and he said some very, very choice words to his grandma, and then she soon later like passed away. But like I think he just never forgave her for making him lose essentially the love of his life, because he did ended up marrying some other girl, but like it was so bad. Like the poor girl that he ended up marrying like years later, I think it must have been like 10-20 years later, that girl had to deal with a lot of crazy with him. I wish I could have been watching that scene unfold from a close distance. I want it from afar. I don't want to be close to that drama. yeah, crying face 100%. And so my mom never told us what she had read for him, but the fact that had happened, I wonder if it was related to that, because like I don't want to say he's like entirely excommunicated with the family, but there's been quite a few run-ins with him where like we even had to get the police involved. And I think it was more so because like he had a lot of threats. He made a lot of threats, and they weren't sure if his threats, like if it would actually happen or not. And so they actually had to call the police a few times on him and get him like restrained and whatnot. Cries, yeah. I wonder if a palm reading would tell me why I'm so unlucky. What are you so unlucky about? You with your androgynous beauty, with people saying your voice sounds like an anime character, with being told you're hot. What unlucky? Share me some of your unlucky. If that's unlucky, give me some. And so yeah, I really want to go into like tarot card reading, but I also want to be really bad at it, where like I can't predict a thing right. Because if I don't ever predict anything right, then people would never go to me expecting things to be right, so that I can just yap. I can just do what I want to do, say what I want to say. But even at one point, like, I think that was the other reason why my mom was kind of like worried about me doing tarot card readings. It was more so when I was younger. I think I would say things not out of anger per se, but I'm like, I'd be like, that'd be funny if XYZ happened, or I'm like, I wonder why this didn't happen. And after I say that, within the next like couple weeks, something would happen. So I think she was also worried that even if I was crap at doing like readings, what I say would still end up coming true. I'm so unlucky with employment. Gotta fight to get work. Aw, took ages to get my current job, but at least you have your current job. So that's at least a silver lining. So maybe there is some luck. Again, I don't know if I believe a lot in like parasocial type stuff, or stuff like tarot card readings, or like I believe ghosts exist. I believe that there are people who do have whatever ability. I don't know what those abilities can be, but I just think that those people are just so few, far in between that like it wouldn't be enough of that population to even have like an Etsy witch shop, you know? Wouldn't it be funny if you predict me becoming mega rich? I sense everyone in my chat becoming crazy rich. So crazy rich that they donate a lot of money to me. Paranormal, parasocial, oh my gosh, paranormal. I'm telling you, sometimes when I go on stream, English goes outside my head. It just disappears. English? Nah. Well, technically, it's my second language, so I'm gonna blame it on that. Oh my gosh, today at work, there was a word I was trying to remember the whole time. And I'm like, actually, no, it was like a few words I've been trying to remember this like for like a while. I'm like, oh my gosh, in the middle of the word has M-A-L, or at the beginning of the word starts with a P, and I could not, like, for the life of me, remember it. And then 20 minutes later, after a lot of Googling, then I was able to find it. But I'm like, I swear, I'm a little smarter than this. Not on stream though. On stream, my brain is bye-bye. My brain does not exist right now. Fair enough, if I become mega rich, I'll know who to thank and give you some stacks. Better be a lot of stacks. Okay, let me see. I see Sin, I see Ignacio, I see Urban. If Cherry's still here, Karma's already gone, but maybe they also will become rich. I'm naming all y'all. I better see some stacks coming in soon. The struggle of polyglots mixing up languages. Right? And the thing is that like the other issue with that is depending on who I'm with or what situation I'm in, I start not realizing what language I'm speaking in. And so like my poor brother-in-law, he only speaks English. So sometimes when my whole family is around, like we'll just say whatever feels comfortable. So we'll mix in a lot of like both languages. And so all of a sudden we'll like turn to him and then he'd be like, you guys haven't been speaking English this whole time. I can't respond. I don't know what you're talking about. One day the accent will slip and I'll know. You mean like my Texan accent? I was born and raised in Texas, you know? I'm so bad with accents. Like I can kind of fake a British accent. I can kind of fake like a Southern accent. I'm so bad with accents. It sounds so awful. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't realize I was gonna yap this much today either, because I did want to talk about the story that we started talking about yesterday. I don't know if you guys actually care about like knowing like the rest of the story, but like it's such a cute story. So I gotta share, because I think we left off with like the what was it? The male lead and the female lead. Oh, I think the female lead was trying to get her friend out of prison, and so she visited her friend in prison, and it was so funny. One of like the lines in there, like her friend was taking a bath in the prison cell, because like it was actually like a really nice like nobleman's room, and so she ended up seeing her friend and giving her friend a hug, but like she just came out like fresh out of a bath, so she was probably wearing like PJs or something, like not just like fully on clothes, right? And so the guard came back to get the female lead to like leave the prison, but he saw her hugging this girl who is not like fully clothed, and he's like, oh, I don't know what this relationship is. Do I need to give you guys more time? Despite speaking English mostly, I still end up speaking French, Italian, oh my gosh, and German with a Spanish accent. You speak so many languages. How like what's your, so I'm guessing English, like your proficiency level is like native speaker, but how about French and Italian and German? I'm guessing your Spanish is probably like either like advanced to to like native level too, I'm assuming. It's so funny though. Like I've had some people at work tell me like they can't understand me because, oh, maybe because of my accent. I'm like, I'm born and raised in the US. Is my accent that strong? I was born and raised in Texas. Do I have a southern accent I don't know about? Base guard, kind of. And like even the female lead, as she lets go of her friends, she's like, oh, I wonder what he's thinking. Spanish is my first language, English is second, the other three are still grade school level. At least you know all those languages in grade school level, because like I think I've said it before, my Spanish I had learned kind of all throughout like elementary school, but like it was like learning the days of the week, learning the month, but I never learned like actual proper grammar until maybe like 7th or 8th grade. And the thing is that you would take the same essential like Spanish classes, like the same one I took 7th, 8th grade, I kind of had to redo 9th grade. And so I think my last Spanish class was in 10th grade. So I think I got to like year 3 technically of Spanish. But then like AP Spanish, our school was known to be not that great at teaching it, and unless you really apply yourself and like you're watching telenovelas and like actually really trying to learn even on your own, most people in my school did not do well in the AP exams. I'm like, oh, why bother with it if I'm not gonna even get AP credit for it? So I ended up not taking Spanish, and then I took Chinese in college. And so by the time I started taking Chinese in college, all the Spanish went away. It disappeared entirely, completely. And so like I couldn't even say how are you, which is something I'm pretty sure I learned by the time I was like 5 years old. There was a lady that I was working like near at my dorm, and I just wanted to say hello, how are you, and just be like kind of like common courtesy to someone who doesn't speak English. I stared at her, I said hola, and I stared at her and I'm like, oh. I think she could tell. Oh, my brain fart was just so bad. She could tell I felt kind of bad. But anyways, so after she ended up getting her friend out of jail, so she had another day of overtime at work, and as she was leaving work, because like she worked in the Department of Finance for the Imperial Palace, right? And so she works at the outer part of the palace. And so our emperor, it was I think they call it Founding Day or Foundation Day, which is his birthday. He was escaping from his birthday party, hit the granny with ¿Cómo se va? Wait, what does that mean again? Because I can't remember. I don't know. Wait, that's French? I think I also want to say I don't think that's Spanish. I feel like, wait, no. How do I say how are you? ¿Cómo se llamas? What's your name? Wait, oh my gosh, how do you say how are you? I thought I remembered. Oh no. See, I'm telling you, it's gone. And so, because the emperor... Wait, ¿Cómo estás? Thank you! It's so funny, in my chat box off to the side here, it translated the how are you? Like the ¿Cómo estás? How are you? So I'm like, wait, why are you telling me how are you again? And so... he was trying to ditch his birthday party because it was a masquerade, and with the mask on, like technically kind of like cultural wise, with having that mask on in the masquerade ball, you're supposed to pretend that you don't know who's who. You're not gonna like go like after the ball going like you said XYZ during the ball, right? It's considered taboo. It's supposed to be secretive. And like back in the day, it was meant so that you can criticize the emperor without ever getting in trouble. But nowadays, that's not the case anymore. So with our beautiful, handsome male lead emperor, he has golden, beautiful eyes, and that is very rare. And so anyone who looks at him can tell he's a freaking emperor. The mask stays on, or whatever the TikTok girls say. I don't know, I don't keep up enough. And so he ends up, like there was a lady at the ball who ends up spilling her wine or champagne on him. And I'm like, oh no, oh dear, I'm so sorry. How about you follow me to the lounge? Let me pay you back by a change of clothes. And he's like, no, I'm good. And as he walks, like tries to walk away from her, like in the manhwa, you see like a group of girls also with like their champagne glasses. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna drown him in wine. They're just gonna all dump their wine glasses on him. Do you think my blindfold would count as a mask in this masquerade ball? I suppose it would. I mean, it does cover the part that you would want covered, so I feel like that would. It'd work well enough. And so he ends up running away and doesn't tell anyone, doesn't tell the guards, he just ditches. And who does he run into but the female lead? Get that woman a drink, she was thirsty. They were real thirsty for him, but like, wait, let me, it's too hard for me to pull up a picture. Maybe next time if I go into story mode again, I'll pull it up, cause like, he'd be handsome. Like even from like manhwa art and the novel, like the cover art, oh, he's so handsome. Oh wait, I forgot to put my book up. There you go. And so, oh wait, but it kind of covers my face, so maybe I'll just put the T one up. And so he's like, can you please do me a favor? She's like, I'll hear you out. But she's like, until you tell me what, I'm not gonna say yes. Like, this is a person that she kind of thought might have tried to kill her just recently. You need to make a PowerPoint so I can follow along. I'll put a little diagram of the storyline. I've been reading it right. He's got a face card for real, doesn't he? And so he ends up persuading her to get him out of the palace. And like, okay, since you're reading along, part of the story I might mix up a little bit between the manhwa and the novel, because like they don't always actually like coincide like time frame wise. And so she sneaks him out, and the way she sneaks him out, because I guess you have to have a pass to enter and leave the palace. And so when they leave, he didn't have his pass. And I don't even know as an emperor if he really even needs a pass, but he didn't have it. And so she had to help sneak him out. So she went to the guard, and it was foundation days, right? So there was a masquerade ball for the nobles in the palace, but like outside of the palace walls, there's a festival going on. And so she goes to the guard, the outside palace guard, and she's just like, oh, my friend, he didn't have his pass, so he entered with me, but he entered, excuse me, at a different gate instead. And the guard's like, well, you know, if you don't have your pass, whatever entrance that you come in, you have to leave at that same entrance so they can double check who you are, right? It's not just like an assassin who comes in and then leaves. And so she's like, oh, we understand, but you know, there's that festival today, and that entrance is all the way on the other side, and we had to work overtime. And like, she is like, she's not crying, but like, she's kind of putting in like the waterworks a little bit, like at least the pouting. And she's like, oh, you know, even after overtime, we thought maybe we can at least go to the festival, maybe get at least something to eat, but if we go on the other entrance, by the time we get there, everything's gonna be closed. But I understand. And the guard is like, he feels for her because he's also an employee. And so he's like, fine, but only this one time. And so they exit, and the emperor's like, you're kind of skilled. You're a little bit too skilled for this. And so they escape, and kind of to repay her, they actually go to the festival, and he ends up getting her some chicken skewers. And she isekai'd from Korea, right? And so she likes the salty, sweet, and spicy. And so they found these chicken skewers that are right up her alley. But he was expecting to like treat her out to like an actual meal. And so they walk to that place, and she's like, but I really want this. So with her being so cute, he was like, fine, we'll get it for you. And so she ate it, she's happily eating it, and he's kind of just like, well, this is fine, but like, he's an emperor, he's not too impressed by this food. As a professional in a similar position to the guard, I'm sorry to say I deny her. can't say much because I've never been in that position, but yeah, I guess I wouldn't want you to be in trouble. But actually, speaking of which, okay, I might have kind of done something similar to her before. So there was one time, it was in a job that I had when I was really young. I must have been like 21, 22, maybe not even 22. I was at least of legal age in the US to drink, and after work, a group of people, they often go to like this, it's like Whiskey Wednesday or something like that, that restaurant, that bar had like cheaper whiskey drinks at that time. And so they've been inviting me for so long, and like even some of our bosses was coming, like my boss was coming. I'm like, okay, fine, I can't always say no, so I'll go at least once this year. So I went, and then I realized once I got there that I didn't have my ID, I didn't have my wallet on me. All right, did I? No, I didn't have my wallet. No, I did have my wallet, but I had two IDs. I had one ID that was the vertical ID, the one where I didn't have my driver's license yet, but my driver's license I think was tucked in a different wallet, and so I didn't have the right ID for the bar, even though it says that I'm above 21, like, because obviously my birthday is there. And so the person who's getting orders, was it the bartender? No, I don't think we were sitting at the bar, but he's like, oh wait, no, it was to enter the bar. He's like, I'm sorry, with this ID I can't let you in. I'm like, oh, even if it says I'm 21, it's just because I was supposed to meet up with some of my coworkers because I've never gone, and I promised them. Oh, it's okay. I don't want to make your job harder. I don't want to get you in trouble as well. How about if I don't order? Oh, but you know what? I don't want to get you in trouble. And like, I was genuine. I was serious. I wasn't trying to like try to get him to let me in, but I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. And I wonder if I just look so sad that he's just like, just don't say anything and go. Just go. Just go. So he ended up letting me in, using your good looks to get their security checks my stars. Okay, I approve. It wasn't good looks. I think maybe past eyes. I think I just look so sad that they let me in. And I think like another time, I think it was when I went to Vegas, and it was actually for my 21st birthday, because I graduated college when I was 20, and like in a few months, because like in my school year, because my birthday was like a certain time of the year, I was one of the younger people in my class, and so by the time I graduated college, I was only 20. I couldn't even legally drink yet, and so after college, I went off to work, and then I went to Vegas to celebrate my 21st birthday. Sad hamster meme land. Help me. Who can deny this face? It's just so sad. Apparently I can look pathetic really, really easily. And so I remember in Vegas, like they were going along the line to like check your IDs before you're able to get in. And I remember like the bouncer, he took my ID, and like I made sure I had the proper ID with it being horizontal instead of vertical. And so he took my ID, and I'm like, wait, no, that's a real ID. Trust me, it's real. And wait, if you take that, how am I gonna go home? I need to fly. Wait, and so like I guess he was just like teasing me, or like I don't know what his thought process was, but like after a while, he ended up coming back and just going like, here's your ID. And so anyways, so Emperor and female lead, they are right now getting snacks, right? And he's just like, I wanted to feed you, right? Like, no more snacks, bad. Bad female lead, no more snacks for you. And so they're just like enjoying their company, walking around the festival, and after that, they might have walked a little bit too far, because in this time period, they had just finished the war. There was a lot of like refugees and a lot of people that were kind of coming towards the capital, and so the slums kind of expanded a little bit compared to what the size was before. And so they're walking around like, oh, I think we need to get back towards like the actual festival. And as she was thinking that, as she was just thinking, oh no, this doesn't feel safe, or like maybe I should like donate to the temple for like good fortune and whatnot, for good luck, there is a group of thugs that came by, and she's like, oh, of course, just my luck. And the thing is that in the manhwa, I think it was only like 3 thugs that were shown, but in the novel, it said at least like 10 thugs, right? And they drew out their weapon, and they're like, give us your valuables, put your money down, and then you'll be safe. Or also telling the emperor to leave, like, hey guy, you go, leave the girl here with us. And the emperor starts getting obviously really pissed because he looks at their sword and he can tell just by one glance that it is the army's sword, like his military sword. And like he was part of the military, like he was gone 8 years because he was at war, like he was at the front lines. So he sees that and he already knows there's been some rumors about the soldiers after war. They had pretty much just like gambled away all their reward money for winning the war. They gambled it all away. They're jobless, and now they're just, you know, going into the life of crime. More sex, yeah. And so he is kind of angry that they're using his swords to then, you know, go and threaten his citizens, right? So he's pissed. So he starts beating them up. But the thing is that he goes a little bit too far away from her, because like she kind of backs off and he is beating them all up. But like they're still his soldiers or ex-soldiers, and they are still his citizens, and they're not at war. This isn't at like the military site where like they ended up betraying him, you know? And so he was still trying to be merciful. So he knocked them out, but he didn't kill anyone. And so as he was knocking everyone out, one of the ones who was knocked out kind of came to a little bit and then took her hostage. He at least still had like a pocket knife and then put it to her throat. And that even like with that knife, and with him being so nervous and being like threatened by the emperor, like the knife kind of digs in a little bit deeper, and like some blood, like it drew some blood. And the emperor is furious. How dare he take a hostage in front of him, and how dare he take her? And so the emperor is like, okay, I need to, you know, I'll talk to him and see what his demands are to kind of at least try to distract him, right? But before even distracting him, he gave her a look because he wanted to at least reassure her that he's gonna save her, that, you know, he'll do right by her. So he gives her a look. And she gives him a look back, so he's like, okay, she understands what I'm trying to say here. She understands that she's gonna be safe type of thing. But she interpreted it as she needed to create an opening for him. So as the emperor's like, oh, what are your demands, yada yada, I think in the manhwa, she ended up like biting that thug's like hand or arm. But I think in the novel, I think like the arm, his arm was already like cut open or something, or like he already had a wound on his arm from the emperor. So I think she just kind of like gripped at that, or like gouged at that, and so he ended up kind of like shrieking, and it created enough of an opening for the emperor to do something. So in the manhwa, I think the emperor just like knocks him out. In the novel, the emperor told her to duck. He swung his sword and lopped the guy's head off. And she kind of reflexively wanted to look over to the side to see, you know, it's like when you hear a noise, you look over. She was gonna do that, but like she saw the pool of blood, and the emperor's just like, you don't want to look into that. And she's like, you know what, you right. So she didn't look at it. And some of the other thugs, like not the other thugs aren't dead, right? They're still alive. Base emperor, right? Female lead taking initiative is always what we love to see, right? That's why I really, really like her. And she's smart. She graduated top of her academy. Like even when she entered her academy, she entered top of the class. She graduated top of the class. Even when she took the exam to join the finance department, or like becoming like a government employee, she joined in the ranks at like the top, right? With like passing with flying colors. It's just she didn't want to do the networking. She didn't want to do the extra stuff. And actually, it's so funny because they said that when she entered the palace, she had not remembered her previous life's memories yet, and so she didn't realize that hiding your talent might be a good idea so that she doesn't end up running into trouble. She'd be a lazy girl like someone. And so after the hostage guy was the other thugs were like, we didn't do this, that was him, that was on his own, we weren't gonna take it that far, and the emperor was gonna execute all of them on the spot. But she said something. She's like, oh no, I think this just went a little bit more than they were expecting. Like essentially just like give them mercy. And part of him was like, this was the part where he was saying like her heart is like a ripened fruit, like it's just so soft, like how can you forgive these people that were trying to murder you? She's just like, they weren't trying to murder me, they were trying to keep themselves safe, like they got me hostage because they were scared of you. So like she didn't blame him per se, but she was just like, it's technically not their fault, they didn't think it was gonna escalate to this extent. I love your yapping so much. Thank you for enjoying my yap. Summary executions are always an interesting story concept that rarely gets explored. Love seeing it in political intrigue stories. Yeah, and the thing is that for like fluffy manhwas or like shoujo manhwas, I wonder if there's even like any type of censorship, and that's why they ended up not showing it in the manhwa, even though it happened in the novel. And so after that, they kind of tied them all up. Oh wait, no, oh hey, this also didn't happen in the manhwa, but in the novel, he kind of secretly severed their tendons. I think like the tendons in their wrist or something like that. And obviously it's painful, but then he kind of whispers really lowly to them, so she couldn't hear, but only they could hear. He's like, keep quiet, as he severed the tendons in their wrists so that they would never ever be able to hold a sword ever again. So he does that first. Like she's around, but she just doesn't know what's going on. He does that first before they take all of these thugs to like the security whatever nearby. Hard to see you too, Urban. Thank you for enjoying my yap. And so after that, he was like, oh wait, I wanted to treat you out on to treat you on food, but it was starting to get a little bit too late, so instead he just walked her home. And so after that though, he also had the excuse, the excuse to ask her out for a meal. And it's so funny because like that guild master who's also his friend, like I think he was just so antsy before meeting her, and like even with her going out to the festival with him, and like it wasn't planned in advance, but when her friend found out about it, the friend that went to prison, when she found out, that's so many hearts. Thank you. And so when her friends found out about it, she was like, oh, you went on a date. And the female lead's like, it's not a date, he was just treating me out for food to thank me. She's like, going to a festival with a hot guy and he treated you to food? Girl, that's a date. Crazy she didn't notice when a tendon gets severed, it makes a pretty distinct loud snap. I've never, like, how far can you hear that snap though? Because I think whenever I've heard, like not heard, but whenever like I've met people with like severe tendons or had to deal with them, the tendon has already been snapped prior before they came to me. And honestly, I think the only like tendons issues I've ever seen are like bicep tendons. Like you end up with like Popeye, the really old cartoon with Popeye, like the one with like the cigar and I think like spinach. I think he likes spinach. You know how like when he flexes muscles and the biceps bulges like that? Like that's one of the signs of like a bicep tendon tear or rupture. Like I've seen that, like, I've seen it post, but I've never seen like it actively happening. Like a tree branch breaking, a whip crack. Really? I wonder if it depends on like the size of the tendon. But at the same time, wait, no, the people I've talked to that have had their tendons snap like that, I wonder if they were a little bit too old, so maybe that's why. But usually what they tell me is they felt it, but they like, I don't remember them saying like they heard something, but that's interesting. But anyways, and so after her friend, you know, is like needling her and going like, "Oh, you went on a date." He also asks her out again, and so he's nervous. I can't remember if it was for this date or one of their other later dates, but he's baby nervous. Like he's in the palace and then he just can't stand it anymore. So then he goes to the guild master's, like the guild's cafe, where like the front of it is a cafe and the guild is technically in the back, and he comes a little bit too early. Oh, I can't remember if it was this date or another date, because I think at one point the guild master's like, "Oh, what are your plans?" He's like, "What plans?" And so the guild master actually has to like send off one of their subordinates to get a reservation for like a really, really nice restaurant that's really popular. I think the reason why I can't remember is just because the novel and the manhwa, like they overlap some parts, but like some parts are different, so I can't exactly remember. And like he's just like, "I couldn't sleep well," and the guildmaster, his friend, was like, why can't this guy sleep well? Like it doesn't make sense. Like this guy during war, like actively during war, he ate well, he slept well. What is happening on politically for the emperor to not be able to sleep? He's thinking like, "Oh, assassin," or like some big issue. And the emperor's like, "I dreamt of her." I think it might be because I dreamt of her. And then the guildmaster's like, "Excuse me, what do you mean?" And he's just like, I'm having dinner with Miss Diaz today." And the guildmaster's like, "And you're wearing that?" He's just wearing like the robe that he always wears. He didn't dress up. He didn't think about dressing up. Like this guy has been at war, and I saw it in the novel this time. He got the throne. He killed his uncle and took over the throne at 15, and from the age of 15 for 8 years till he was 23. I want to say she's 22 and he's 23. From the age of 15, he's been at war. And before that, he was planning to take over the throne back from his uncle. Because the right way would have been his dad, the crown prince, became king, and then him. So like he still had the right to the throne. And so he doesn't know anything about romance. He doesn't think about dressing up. And so the poor guildmaster had to take him out to go shopping and then like fix up these clothes so that he was presentable to go on this kind of date. I don't know if both either her or him realized, oh wait, no, they didn't realize they were on a date, because they're like, "Is it a date? I don't think this is a date." The only one who knew it was a date from the get-go was the guild master. So the one that was preparing for this date that they went on was the guild master. Otherwise the parties that went on a date did not realize it was a date. And so they went on this date. They went to this nice dinner, and at the dinner, and like she's nervous because it's like this pseudo date, so she's very nervous and he's also really nervous. Like they're just blushing, right? And so when they're asked what they wanted to eat, relatable, "I understand you, Emperor. I'm out of touch like you too, man." Are you out of touch fashion wise too? I can't imagine it. I can't imagine you're out of touch fashion wise. Like I feel like you've dabbled in so many things. There's no way you would be. And so during the dinner, like they didn't know what to order, and I think the waiter ended up saying like, "Oh, we recommend the couple set," thinking they're a couple because like it's just you two out for dinner. And in that kind of time period, in that type of era and setting, like I don't think it's very common for a guy and a girl to eat together at that time if it wasn't a date. And so they're like, "We recommend the couple set," and they're just like, "Okay, whatever, like we'll order it." the couple set came out, and the waiter is dutifully, you know, explaining the set. He's like, this is the food. This first course, this appetizer has, you know, it represents the first stages of falling in love, the fluttering, the heart pounding. And so it's the refreshing sense of love, and that refreshment is the zest of lemon. And so she's like, okay, this couple set is a little bit more intense, a little bit more coupley than I had originally expected. And so they get the second course, right? And like they're now very awkward because they're like, was this even a date to begin with? So the awkward became even more awkward. And so then the second course came out, and it was a steak with this simmered wine sauce, and the simmered wine represents the maturity of a passionate love. Hold up, this couple set sounds like a romantic thing fit for a date. These two are just meeting up for food. Right? They're already like they're already so nervous for it, and all of a sudden this wine sauce represents mature, passionate love. And so they're like, oh, they're half trying to ignore it. And so she tries to cut into her steak, but something's wrong with the knife. It feels a little bit too dull. So like she's really trying to go at it. He notices, and he's like, here, how about I try? But the thing is that even as a skilled swordsman, because I can't remember, like a sword aura user, I think that was the term that they had used. Passionate. I love how you said that, because it's passionate love. And so he takes over her plate for her, and I've seen a lot of like K-dramas, Korean dramas, where like the main lead will cut up the steak for the female lead, and it's kind of like a romantic gesture of a I care for you type of thing, right? So I think this was also kind of something similar. So he takes the plate for her, but even if he is a skilled swords master, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden the steak knife is no longer dull. He's trying to cut into it, and he's having problems too. And so she's like, oh, well, yeah, it's still a dull knife. But then she sees a glint in that steak knife, and all of a sudden he's cutting through the steak. But guess what he also cuts through? He cuts the plate clean in half. And it was just like they were like both of their the tension was so high, right? They were already so tense, so nervous, and all of a sudden the plate gets cut cleanly in half. I could never do that. I'd end up eating it right in front of my dinner partner. I don't know if I would, especially like if it's, I don't know if it's like the knife being an issue or the steak being an issue, but have you ever had a steak so chewy where like no matter how much you chew, there's never a good point to swallow, and if you swallow, it feels like a big glob, a big bolus of just food. Like you can feel it traveling down your esophagus, and like it just hurts. Like it would be every bite. I'd be too scared that I'd end up choking in front of my pseudo date. And so he cuts the plate in half, and with all this tension between the two of them, she just bursts out laughing. And this is the emperor you're talking about. This is supposedly the tyrant emperor. Like he has made a reputation for himself of being a tyrant, of being someone you do not want to cross. And like sure, she doesn't know that he's an emperor, but like no one's really laughed at him, you know? And so like he doesn't really know how to take her teasing, and so like he's feeling kind of shy and embarrassed about it too. I just swallow and call it good, but what if you choke? I'd be too awkward. Tyrant emperor or cutie patootie dinner partner, both. And that's why I love the duality of his personality, because even like amongst like his like the ambassadors, the political people, like he is a no-nonsense guy, right? And it's not him faking the no-nonsense. He truly is a no-nonsense kind of guy. And so when he Oh, even later on in the novel, they're like, oh, he is known even from like the OG isekai novel. He is known to not tolerate mistakes. Like there is an agent of his, a secret agent of his, who made a mistake and he made that person disappear. So it sounds like he might have even executed that person. He is not someone you want to cross. But in front of her, he just be a cutie patootie. If I choke, it was my time. Okay, but that's only if you like go like immediately, right? But in between the time of you choking, someone doing the Heimlich on you, someone trying to do CPR on you, how awkward. Can you tell? Can you tell? I think I'm more worried about awkward than the choking part, than the part. And she is teasing him so much. And so after that, he still wants to see her again, and the guild master really likes her. I think I touched upon it before, but she ends up seeing the guild master another time for another reason with the emperor, and that's when she tells him that the coffee beans that he has is spoiled. That's why his coffee tastes like poison. That's why no one wants to come to his cafe, because like he still has patrons at his cafe. Hell, hey, he's a cafe owner like me. He still has patrons, but they come by because of his pretty face. I'll joke quietly to avoid the awkward. You'll just slowly like tilt down and down and down until you're unresponsive. And so she already kind of helped him, because after that he was able to secure like good coffee beans, and he got lessons from like one of like the popular cafes in the capital to teach him how to make coffee. And so like he like, and like the cafe is his baby. Like it might be like his true job is the guild master, but his cafe is his passion. Are your drinks as bad as the guild masters? Well, you guys keep on coming back, so it must not be. And hey, I'm actually really good at it. Maybe not the banana matcha. I actually tried making banana matcha once at home, and like I had it with like fresh bananas. I tried to make a simple syrup with the banana, but somehow there was no banana taste. I don't know where the banana went. I don't know how it happened, because like, you know how when you make a smoothie and you put like a whiff of a banana, thoughts of banana, you start blending your smoothie and you think of a banana, and then you drink the smoothie and all you're gonna taste is banana. I don't know how. After I made that banana syrup, the banana flavor disappeared. So I made just like a sweet matcha. I'm here for the lounge chair and sea-facing chair. Hey, those are both mine. The tea is excellent. See, Ignacio has my back. And so he, where was I? So the guild master already really likes her, right? And he even thought, okay, is this kind of like a passing, maybe not even passing, but is this just the emperor's first love? You know, most people don't expect first loves to be your last love, even if you wish for it to happen. Like he's just like, oh, this is just maybe just a romantic partner. Maybe he isn't thinking far enough where she'll end up being his empress, right? But he thinks a little bit deeper and is like, well, even though she's technically a commoner, she actually could even inherit the count title that her aunt has. Because even though her mother was disowned, that auntie of hers, her mother's sister obviously, doesn't have a husband, doesn't have any children. So when she has to pass on the title, the only next of kin that she can pass it on to would be the female lead. Sounds like a skill issue people with working taste buds have. At least I have working taste buds. I feel like that's a little bit mean to say since you can't taste anything. Thank you for more heart servant. Help, I have so many VTuber crushes. Am I one? No I was about to say no paranormal. Not parasocial. Am I just confessing that I'm a ghost? No parasocial, but I better be one of your crushes. Some people get super lucky with first loves, but not everyone gets it, right? And even like with my friend, the one I was telling you guys about before, the one that she dated and like married the guy who she dated for like years and years and years. Even at one point, not for him, but I think for her, she was like, well, if I've only ever dated one person, how do I know that they're the person for me? Like, how do I know if they're good if I have no point of reference? Like, if I can't compare, how do I know? But I'm like, what if I've had, like, I don't know, a dessert for the first time? I've never had that dessert before. Like, tasty is still tasty. I don't have to compare it to other desserts to know it's good dessert. But I think some people end up being curious about what's out there and thinking maybe there's better out there, that even if they really love that first love, they are a little bit too willing to let go of that love. Yes, as in I'm a crush of yours. Wait, where was I with the story? Cheesecake. I still need to make that Roman cheesecake. You still need to give me a recipe too. Heartsy too, in a very both not paranormal and parasocial way. Oh, so the guild master was like, well, I guess even if he does want her to become his empress, like, there's not actually a real barrier. Like, she's very smart, she's very talented, and she could hold the title of a count. And the thing is that count, I think Wrinkles, was the last name. That family, like, because I think when you talk about like certain titles, I think after like king, prince, you know, after royal family, I think duke is next, but also like marquis, count, and earl is also really high. It's when you start talking about barons. I think barons are like the lowest on the nobility ranking, if you're actually titled. And so she actually could end up holding the title of count. Once I make it, I'll send it. You better. I'll remind you next time. That'll be your ticket to entry to the cafe next time. Grand Duke is crazy high. Baronets are the lowest, I believe. Yeah, and I think it depends on the country. I think certain countries don't even have the title of Marquis, but I think Marquis and Earl can be kind of similar-ish. But I think if Marquis is like a available rank, I think Marquis is still possibly higher than an Earl. But I think Grand Duke, I think that's reserved for like ex-princes, right? Oftentimes it's like if you were born a prince, and then the next generation has their own princes and princess, and like one of them becomes king. I think as the uncle of that ruler, you can become a Grand Duke, but then sometimes you just retain the title of a prince. I guess it depends on the storyline, and like in real life, it kind of depends on like country as well. But anyways, like in the guild master's head, like there's nothing wrong enough about her where like he needs to interfere in the emperor's love life. And so because he likes her so much and he knows that the emperor wants to pursue this a little bit more, he gives the emperor 4 tickets to an exhibition. Because in her, like, the guild master had to look into her a little bit more, had to, you know, do like a background check from way in the beginning when she first made her presence known. Because like, how does this girl know about a secret guild? Does she know that this guy is an emperor? Like, they had a lot of suspicions about her, right? And so he knew from her academy days that even though it wasn't her major, even though that wasn't her main area of study, she did take these history classes, and she did very, very well in them. Yeah, the Grand Duke is pretty much royalty depending on familial ties, since dukedoms are huge. Yeah, and I think like with like certain like duke titles, it's mainly a title. It's not like a last name, kind of like the Prince of Wales. Like the Wales part just means like you're like the crown prince. And I think like with certain duke titles, if like there's no one who is holding that title at the time, it can also be bestowed upon someone not necessarily within the same family. You know, honestly, when it comes to like nobility stuff, it's actually kind of interesting. And so he ends up, the guildmaster gives the emperor these 4 tickets. So that means there are 4 more possible days. And so the emperor, like one of their days, I think it was at the dinner date, he's just like holding on to it. And he's just like, how do I ask her out? I don't know how to do it. And the good thing about this that I really like about this manhwa, this novel, is that it paints a picture of first love so well, where like it's like the kick your feet giggling type. And so he does ask her out, and she's very, very excited about it. And like even during like one of these dates, they hold hands, and even the holding hands part, like in one of the times that they held hands, like their palms are sweating. And even at one point, I can't remember if it was like with holding hands or something else during the date, when they were walking around this museum, like she loves this stuff. Like she's eating up the history. She loves this museum. But at one point, just being with him made her so nervous that she's like, I can't tell what I'm seeing anymore. Sugar overload. I get diabetes reading these manhwas and novels. Still, I know hand holding. It's so funny because like I'm the type to start giggling reading about this hand holding versus like, you know, like the Netflix shows where it's like, talk about first kiss, like within the first like 10-20 minutes you have like these couples like sleeping with each other, and like I feel nothing. I feel nothing. But like the secret glance, the accidental caress of someone's face of, oh, I just wanted, your face looked hot, I thought you had a fever, I just wanted to reach out, oh no, I almost touched you, like I like these ones. I like these stories. And so one of oh my gosh, one of the times that he took her out to a museum, because they could go 4 times, right? I think it was like on the second time, because he realized how much she loved everything. Like she would talk about this exhibit and how this was the history of that, like, and he was just like nodding along, trying to look like he's interested in it. And I don't know, how about you guys, when you guys go on dates, like even if you are doing something that's not particularly your interest, you want to show some interest in your date's interest. At least that's just nice, right? Especially like if it's something like, if you two love each other, you know, you want to be invested in their interests as well. I definitely love the heavy type love interactions because it's so good, enough to make me bleed and have me kicking my feet. Same. Like that's why I love the novels or like the manhwas where like you get the guy's point of view, like the way how they feel about the girl, and like not necessarily like obsessive or possessive, although again red flags in fiction are kind of nice, but like I love seeing their point of view. But in this museum, as they're walking around, he is like, on the second time, after knowing that she loves it so much, and even the first time she's like, I'm so glad we share same interests, and he's like, I like in his head he's like, I am not interested in this. I only find this museum essentially interesting because you look so cute, being so enamored by everything. You're just so cute. Like she's looking at the stuff, he's looking at her. She's his museum, okay? And so on the second museum, like he wants to show how interested he is, and so he starts talking about this exhibit, about this particular item, about the history of it, about what went on, and she's just like, this sounds really familiar. And like, because there's a catalog, right? Like kind of like a little brochure that kind of explains things, and she's just like, I'm so certain that he memorized the catalog. And then they went to a different exhibit and he says the exact same thing on the catalog, and she finds this cute. She finds this so adorable that he would memorize this for her. And like even before on their pseudo dinner date, and even just like recounting the story, like I'm smiling so much. If you can't tell, my jaw is getting tired. Haven't been on a date in years, but yeah, for sure, showing interest in your date's interest, or at least listening and supporting it, is amazing. Seeing a person be so invested and so amazing, right? And it really does show interest in that person, that you care enough to put interest in that person. Like even my sister, she's not that big into What's with the crying face? Urban, what's with the crying face? Even though my sister isn't really huge into sports, like she does like basketball enough, but like she'll get into it because of her husband, because her husband really cares about it. So like even if like I really like games, if I ever end up dating someone, even if they don't play games, like if I end up nerding out about a game storyline, like an RPG storyline, or if I end up nerding out like how I am with you guys about these manhwa stories, like I would want them to listen. I would want them to be invested, not in the game itself, not in the story itself, but invested in me. You know what I mean? The jaw, I know, it hurts so much. I'm like, I need to look back into my stream and see if I'm just like the whole time, just smiling all goofy the whole time during the stream. Oh my gosh, it's almost 2 hours. Okay, I'll finish off this part and then I'll let you guys leave. And so she realizes that he memorized it, and so she brings it up. She's like, so you memorized it, huh? And she's teasing him. Again, he's not used to being teased. He's a tyrant emperor. He's a no-nonsense, you don't cross me emperor. But this cute little puppy is teasing him. I feel so bad for what? For my jaw hurting? It's okay. It's because I'm happy. Hard to not be invested in you when you're yapping so animatedly. It's because it's so cute. I can't not. Oh, so even on like their next few days, it's so stinking cute. And like there's this one time that on one of their dates, and like they've been holding hands for at least a couple days, and so she's used to holding hands, right? But also she's like, okay, I think this guy's interested. Like how do I date a guy? Like, I don't know enough about romance. Even in her previous life, she was like school, work, and like that was it. Honestly, girl, same. School, work, that's it for me too. And so there's nothing online, right? And so the way to learn how to date someone or try to how to woo a guy, she had to look at books. So her and her friend, the friend who what was it, from her academy school days, the one that went to prison, they both went out to find books about love. Which, if that isn't the best friend, if that wasn't the best friend you can find, like who would it be? So in the book that they read, there's 3 steps. 1, to give a really big smile, to smile a lot to your love interest. 2 is to give a compliment. And 3, some physical touch. And so on one of her dates, when she goes and meets up with him, when she heads over to him, like, and his head is kind of always in the clouds before he sees her, because like he has to rush out of work. He is like either annoyed about work or like something work related. He is so busy, but like he really tries to make the time to go on these dates with her. And so yes, it's so cute. Thank you. Same relatable. And so like same relatable as in like work and school and no dating. Are we just all noobs when it comes to dating? We need a pro somewhere in here. And so in this date, right before he usually sees her, he looks maybe kind of stern, kind of bored, kind of annoyed. But the second he sees her, like his face completely changes, like his demeanor changes. And so she comes and she just beams at him. It's like it didn't explain it in the novel, but I can just imagine it from his point of view, like such a radiant smile that like he's just caught off guard. That it even said in there, like it didn't have his what he thought, but like seeing this beautiful smile of hers, and he just stiffens up. His body like visibly stiffens up. And she's like, okay, next thing I have to do is give him a compliment. And I think even the book gave like a really simple compliment, just like, oh, you look really handsome today, or you look really good today. And so she said that, and the second that she said that, like he's just dazed. First stiffens from the smile and just becomes dazed from a compliment. She's like, okay, next is physical touch. So instead of grabbing his hands like they usually hold hands, she lets go of his hand and she links his arm. Like she links her arm with his arm. Work, school, no dating. rejecting dates mostly and going out to get books to understand. I think if you just go on the dates, I think some field work will help a little bit more. Oh, my jaw, my cheek. I'm trying to like relax my cheeks and my jaw. Sid, I think if you just go on the date, it might be more helpful. Although I guess it's a good thing to not make signals to people or to lead people on. No, are you feeling bad for my cheeks from my jaw? Thank you for your compassion, Urban. So when she links his arm though, he just flinches. Like he flinches and he turns beet red. And she's just like, oh, he doesn't like it. And so like she's just like, oh, you don't. Okay, I'll let go. Do you not want to hold hands either? Type of thing. And he's like, no, you just scared me. And she's like, okay. So and like scared as in like you shocked me. I wasn't expecting it. Like I didn't see you coming. Like I just didn't expect it. So she's like, okay. So if you expect it, it means it's okay then, right? And so she's like, aha, set him in a trap. He now can't refuse her, at least like holding his hand or having a little bit of a physical touch. Yes. But it's scary. Mixed signals are scary. Yeah. That's why if you're not actually interested in someone, rejecting them is probably better. But I guess it's kind of hard because like unless you start getting to know them better through like stuff like dates, how would you know whether you're going to like them or not, you know? I feel so worried. It's okay. I'll go to bed hopefully on time. I won't talk to anyone after I in stream, so I'll relax my cheeks and jaw then. Ref, that's gotta be against the rules. She's linking arms. That's noteworthy. Not just that, eventually you get his own point of view. So they go on their merry way. They go on their date, but afterwards when he goes back to work, I'll skip the date part. I'll get back to that on my next stream or like one of my next streams. So when he eventually goes back to work and he's working, right? So he has a quill in his hand. He has a pen in his hand and he thinks about the date and he's like, I think he actually even says it. I think he actually voices it of, she touched me. She touched me. And because he's like the sensation of it. And I'm thinking like, the sensation, what do you mean? Because like, obviously when you hold hands, like there's a touch there, there's sensation there too. But like, in high school, I've had one of my, I don't know if I can really call him a friend, but like a guy friend-ish person has told me like when a girl links arms with you, like depending on how close, but usually if you're like comfortably linking arms, it's not just arm and arm touching. Usually it's some other part of her body or like closer to her body touching the arm. And as a girl, I never really thought about it. Like when I link arms, I just link arms. But I guess for some guys, they're like, oh my gosh, there's more than just arm linkage. And so, not that that's what it said in the novel, but when he's like, she touched me, I'm like, wait a minute, is this what I'm thinking, or am I reading too much into it? And like, when it comes to, yeah, I do the same. That's how you swoon and fold into feelings like the Emperor. And like, I really love their love story so far because like, there's, you know how when people talk about like love languages, there's different type of love languages, like physical touch, words of affirmation, what else was it? Quality time, acts of service, and gift giving, right? And so like they've kind of done a little bit of both. Like they had the gifts with him giving her the tickets, but also these dates, him just like memorizing the catalog for her, and like the hand holding or the hand linking, and just like her saying how handsome he is and how he supports her. And like I feel like they dabble in a little of all of these love languages, and it's just so sincere, where I'm just like, it kind of appeals to me for like a little bit of everything, especially since like for me, I'm very much of like physical touch. I don't think do I care much about words of affirmation? I think I do. I think I care about all of them, at least like a little bit. Ooh, let me know what your guys' love language is. I'm kind of curious, but mine, I think words of affirmation, like, oh, I'm proud of you, you know, you're pretty, you're cute, like, I think that's a little bit of that. Definitely quality of time, or quality time. Definitely acts of service. Probably not the top one, but I do really appreciate it. Even like something small of like, oh, I didn't have time to cook, so someone prepared something for me. I think for me, it's not even the act of service, it's the thought that happens before the act of service of like oh, you know, I knew you were having difficulty with this, so I thought I'd just do it for you. Or even with the gift giving, like one of my friends at work, she like, we've sat with each other for a really long time at this point, and so she knows a lot of what I like or dislike, especially when it comes to food. And so like even when she travels, and I told her, you don't think about me when you're traveling. Don't think about me, because then you'll start thinking about work. Like, don't even care. Like, unless you see something, you're like, oh my gosh, Leanne would really like this. Like, don't even bother. Don't make that like part of your to-do list when you're traveling. But like, even when she's traveling, when she goes to the farmer's market, when she's grocery shopping, sometimes she's like, oh my gosh, Leanne would really like this. And then she'll bring it in for me. Like, that thought, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I'm not sure. I've had relationships before, but haven't had the other person invested in me after they had you? What do you mean after they had me? Like, after you guys made it official, so like they feel like they didn't have to work anymore? That's so sad. I've actually never been in like a relationship before. So I can't say much. I've ended things, but I've never been like, I guess I've never been the one chasing either. So I guess I can't say much personally, but like I love it when people think of me and based off of that consideration. Like, I feel like that's actually love, of thinking so much about the other person, of what would make them happy, whether it is an act of service, whether it's a gift, whether it's like a compliment. Like, I feel like that's where the love truly is, right? And so I really enjoy that. But I also really like physical touch, and like before people get like raunchy with things, like when it comes to love language, it's not just with like a romantic partner, right? Like for me, it applies to a lot of people. It can apply to family, it can apply to friends, because there's the love of family, the love of friendships, not just love of romantic partners. And so even like with me and my sister, like a lot, well, before like my niece is born, because nowadays when I hold hands, I just hold my niece's hand because like I don't want her to get lost. It's essentially a leash on her. But like before, like even now when we go around somewhere without my niece, like if it's just me and my sister, like we'll just hold hands, or like we'll link arms, or like we're really big into like hugging as well, or like cheek kisses as a lot too. Like when I was studying during grad school, I would get so stressed, and it's like the I have to take a deep breath, getting like feeling so overwhelmed and having to like step away from it. And so oftentimes when that happens, like I was living with my sister at the time, when that happens, I would just go find her. I'm like, I need a hug, I need a hug. And so it would just be like a big long hug. I have a few deep breaths, and I'm like, okay, I can reset now. So like whether like it's a hug, hand holding, like I like physical touch. I think so too. Your point of view about love is something I agree with completely. Yay! It's always nice to have someone that agrees with you. And I feel like a lot of my close friends are the same too. Because I feel like some of the love languages kind of have a bad rep. Because I think some people interpret it kind of in a I don't want to say in the wrong way, because like everyone loves in a different way, but like when I feel like it's always a guy who's like, oh, my love language is physical touch, and you know all they mean is physical intimacy. Like, is it truly love, or like you're a guy and you like that type of intimacy? You know what I mean? Fire, right? I don't even know if it's like oh my gosh, what's that word? Not a hot topic, like a hot take. It's not even a hot take. I feel like it is what it is. What's with that look, Ignacio? Wait, if you guys don't mind sharing with me, what's your love language? Cause Sin's already told us. I'm curious about you too. So I feel like physical touch really gets a bad rep, but like even stuff like just a big hug or like cuddling or like just something to show that you're supporting one another. I feel like that's so nice, and like it just relieves stress so much. And like when I walk with my sister, sometimes I don't realize, like I get a little sidetracked and then I try looking for her and then her hand would be just like at her back. Like she has a certain way that she signals for my hand, and I just like toddle back behind her and I just run up and I grab her hands. Like for us, it's very much a sister thing. Ooh, the other thing that we often do is like if we sit next to each other and we're eating, oftentimes like it's not like we're playing like footsie, but like we'll just kick each other back and forth in like a certain rhythm. Or if like we're walking next to each other side by side, we'll just like not like play with each other's hands, but kind of almost like essentially like play patty cake with each other. And I thought it was like a weird thing that me and my sister did, but I remembered like in high school there was like a sister duo that was also really close and they did something similar too. I'm like, hey, we do that too. It's not a hot take because I am toxic and understand your point of view. Ignacio, you're toxic? In what way? I'm so curious. Wait, tell me more. Yay, a reassuring hand or tapping finger is good too for physical touch, I bet. Right, I think it just feels so reassuring, or just like, you know, having the hand behind someone's back. Like sometimes when I'm like walking, I guess like depending on what I guess this leans more like romantic, but just having that hand kind of like, you know, like the small of your back, kind of in that area, not even like a full-on touch, but just like having a hand kind of guarded there feels kind of nice too. Or like a hand like not necessarily on the waist, because I remember I went on like a first date with this guy, and I wouldn't say like he was handsy, but definitely he was on the touchy side. And like I'm like, I don't know you, why are you putting your hand on my waist? But like if it wasn't like that, like it feels comforting, it feels supportive, and I like that a lot. Oof, this topic makes me realize I haven't touched another human in ages. Are you a little touch starved? Here's some platonic hand holding for you. Here, if you can feel it, telepathically, electronically. And that's the thing, I feel like platonic touching is just so rare these days. I feel like especially amongst more like masculine kind of people, not necessarily saying like guy or girl, but people who lean more on the masculine side. I feel like I don't often see guy friends, like unless it's like, you know, that thump hug where like they pull each other in and then they thump each other's backs. I feel like I don't want to count that as a hug, you know, like I've only gotten like good hugs from like a girl, or maybe it's just because I only allow girls to really hug me. But like, you know, like a good deep hug, like not even like a strong hug, but like a good hug, you know what I mean? TLDR, my female friend helps me understand the female mind better, and I'm the reason my relationships never worked out. Okay, another thing that you guys will learn about me, and Sin already knows this, I'm a sucker for love stories, if you can't tell. Not just fictional ones, but real life ones too. I'd be so nosy about love stories. So if you ever want to share your love story, let me know. And so I feel like there needs to be more platonic physical touches, because I feel like it's just so supportive. All my IRL friends are in different states or in the ground, but back then we'd all be having good physical touch because we were theater nerds. Theater nerds are a little bit different. I feel like you guys classify as something entirely different. I feel like the most eccentric of people, like you guys, I guess like it fits in like a theater nerd stereotype, but like you guys don't fit into like, oh, girls do this, guys do this, like you guys are your own people. Oh, but like I used to have a few friends in high school, like my closest friends in high school and then like starting college, both of them really hated physical touch. And whenever I would like try to initiate like linking arms with them or giving them a hug, they would visibly flinch away from me and go like, oh, okay. And like I could tell how reluctant they are, that I started getting really self-conscious about it. So even though like physical touch is like one of my big love languages, like unless it's my family member, I just don't. Like even when like you're in a group of friends and you all ate dinner together and you're saying bye, like everyone kind of hugs each other, right? Like I am better at it now, where I will hug my friend and say goodbye, like just like a light hug, not like a good hug, but like a light hug or like a side hug. And like sometimes like they'll bring their husbands along too, and like everyone's hugging everyone, right? It's not like I only hug my friends, because they're also hugging each other's husbands and whatnot. But I'm just like, I draw the line at hugging my friends. Like even hug my friends feels like a reach at this point, because like I just started developing this discomfort with hugging people outside my family. And so like I think the guys notice me not initiating, and they're just like, I'm not gonna force her to hug me. But I remember there was one of them that hugged me like how he would normally hug a guy. And you know he didn't do it exactly that way, but you know how like some guys, they hold on to each other's hands, they pull in like chest to chest, and they thump each other's back? I didn't exactly do that with the guy, but like we kind of like leaned in towards each other to do like a normal hug, and he started thumping on my back. And girls don't do that, okay? It's not normal for girls to do that, or at least my girlfriends don't. And I'm not used to hugging guys to begin with. And so when he started thumping on my back, I started coughing. Like he just thumped out all the air in my lungs. I'm like, excuse you, why'd you attack me? Why'd you hit me? Calling us gay during Pride Month, you're right. My whole theater was mostly rainbows. Hey, I didn't say gay. I just said that you guys are different. You guys are a whole other stereotype. Yeah, happy Pride Month to you guys. I always say you guys. I really should stop saying that. Happy Pride Month to everyone. The bro hug base. No, not base. I felt attacked. It just means you're in the bro team. I don't want to be a bro, if you can't tell. I'm quite the girly girl. Like in high school, I didn't like to dress up much. I don't know why. I think I felt a little bit too self-conscious, so I didn't even want to wear shorts. I didn't even want to show my legs. I think it took to like senior year to go like, screw this, I don't care. Honestly, I think starting from around that time, I really kept to the screw it, I don't care. Or at least the screw it part, I might still care, but I screw it enough to not let it affect me, like what my actions are, what people's opinions of me are. So then I started like actually dressing up a lot. Like whenever I felt like it, I might be like in like jeans and a crappy t-shirt one day, and the next day, and like my classmates did not really dress up. Like back in the day, a fancy t-shirt would be dressing up. So me in like a skirt and like knee-high boots, and like a fancy top was like, that was a lot for that high school. Or I would wear a scarf to school and like a pea coat when it got really cold out, and like I would swing the spectrum from being a schlemp, like looking really bad, to like looking, or at least trying to look decent. Should I call you sis instead of bro then? I don't know. I feel like I'm a lot older than everyone. It might be the white hair making me feel that way. So I don't know, is sis better? Is auntie better? I'm not sure. We all don't like showing my legs either, though out of embarrassment, because I don't have The scars I should have earned. Oh, what do you mean? Miss Fan, the beauty metronome. I wouldn't call it beauty, but kind of a metronome. Definitely a metronome. Even nowadays, like, I'm either in like leggings and a really baggy t-shirt, or I'm like in, actually, no, even like my workout clothes, like I really like the cute workout stuff, especially when it comes to skirts. I like the ones with the shorts on the inside, because I'm really bad at being sure that I don't flash people. So I just need to make sure that if it's a skirt or a dress, there's shorts underneath. It's been decided on beauty metronome by the council of me, by the council of the one and just one and only Sin. Oh my gosh, I think I said I was gonna end stream a little bit, like, I don't know, like 20 minutes ago, and I started yapping. I was like, okay, I'm done with the story. But then I started yapping instead. I mean, I heal so incredibly fast and completely. Energies that should have scarred don't. Really? That's really good. I don't think I scar too easily. Actually, no, my acne can scar easily. And so if I'm not careful, I can scar. So I have to be super careful when it comes to acne. And honestly, if I look at my skincare wrong, if I side-eye my skincare the wrong way, I end up with a pimple the next day. And so I had to be like so extra careful with it. But being a very lazy person who is not athletic and doesn't have the energy to do a lot, I also don't put myself in situations where I can easily break a bone or scar, because there's not much scarring. The risk of scarring is very low when all you do is you sit on your couch and you read. And so I don't think I have any scars. Oh wait, no, I do have a, oh wait, no, I think the scar went away. As expected of a lazy villainess. You know how I said before in like a previous stream how I'm like, you know, my lore truly speaks to me. It truly does. I might not be a villainous part, like a villainess. I might, well, at least I try not to be mean. Not to say I'm perfect, so I probably do have mean moments, but the lazy part will forever be true. But wait, one last story before I end stream. My scar. Ooh, and if you guys have any interesting scar stories, let me know. That actually was one of my deal breakers for, was it like class or something like that? I think I've only ever heard it once as a deal breaker, but it always came, I remember hearing like a lot of interesting stories from it. So the one and only scar that I used to have, but I think it's faded away by now. I can't remember what arm it was on. It was near my elbow. So it was during college, and my college was fairly big, and there is this area that we call, like, I can't remember if it was like the mall or the quad. And during like the in-between times for class, and because usually class would end at like the 50 mark, so like 9:50, 10:50. Sometimes it'll end at the half-hour mark, but most classes were 50 minutes long. And so thank you for the hearts again. And so during that time period, a lot of people would be walking to get to class, and some people will be biking to get to class if it's very far, or just like going back to their dorm, going back home or something. And so there was always a lot of traffic, and I just, from visiting my sister, because my sister went to the same college, she's older than me, and so just based off of that, I was very used to kind of just weaving in and out of traffic. And even if the bikes were like going perpendicular to me, I knew how to weave in and out. So it wasn't ever like the bikes ever stopped, you just knew how to weave in and out. And so I never was worried about crossing the mall or the quad. And one time though, I was heading back from lunch, and I think it was a weekend, and so there was no classes, there was no one around. There's probably like a few stragglers because I had lived in the dorms in the day. I was walking, and there was only one bike. It was me and one bike. I'm like, if I can walk across this area with like a gajillion bikes, what's me, one person, and one bike, right? And the thing is that the bike, they can kind of, and like if you've ever gone to places like Vietnam, I think is pretty well known for it, where like the traffic laws are a little bit different. Like, you can't stop walking. You just have to continue to walk, and the motorcyclists or the bikes or whatever will just kind of guesstimate where you'll be speed-wise, where you'll be, so that they can avoid you. And so I kind of expected that same thing when I was walking at this mall, because this is a bike, like a pedal bike. It's not like a motorbike. It's not a motorcycle. Speedy lady, hee hee. Being so short though, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Yeah, well, talk about foreshadowing. So with this one bike and just me, I just walk normally. I'm like, I do it how I normally do it, right? And even being just the one pedestrian, the bike somehow targets me, and I tumble over. We both tumble over, and I tried to get up, but like it hurts a lot. And I'm trying to ask like the bicycle person, bicyclist, I'm trying to ask like him or her, I can't remember, my memory's a little hazy. I tried to ask them like, are you okay? But like, I don't know if I'm okay. And so I'm just sitting there, and they get up, and they're trying to get me to get up, and they're like, okay, let's get you up. I'm like, you know what? How would I just stay here for a little while? And they're like, what? And because I'm like on the ground, and I think the crash was probably loud enough, you start getting a lot more students, a lot more passerbys stopping over, coming by to make sure that I'm okay, because I'm still on the ground. Shame it isn't a drama to be meet cute. Oh no, you're making me think of more stories. Okay, maybe 2 more stories. Okay, this story and then another story. Half of a story. And so I'm like, no, I'll just stay here. And they're like, no, you're getting up. It's like, crap, they're gonna force me to get up. So they helped me. I think it was the person who crashed into me and like a few other passerbys tried to get me up. And I'm okay for like the first second or two. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm okay. Like, I don't want to make this into a huge thing. And I start walking, because there was a building with a lot of chairs nearby at the entrance, or not the entrance of the building, but like the first part of that building on the ground floor. And so I see a bench, and I am aiming for that bench. But as I'm walking to it, I've never felt this way before. Like, I felt lightheaded, I felt dizzy in the past, but I started getting tunnel vision. And being your introvert, I'm like, crap, if I pass out in front of all these people, how awkward, how embarrassing. And so I'm holding on to my conscience for dear life. And I get to the bench, and I sit down, like, thank God, even if I pass out on this bench, maybe they think I just took a nap. What if it's just a very tired college student that took a nap there? So I sat down for a little while. The tunnel vision starts to improve a little bit. I can actually see properly. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can walk. And I walked back to my dorm, because it was really close by. But I started noticing, like, I started having a lot of pain in my hands. Like, it was a lot of pain. And I started noticing that I was actually kind of cut up around my elbow. So that's where I ended up with that scar. The scar, I think, ended up fading like a few years after that. I don't remember seeing the scar any time like in like recent years. So I think it faded away soon after. And I remembered my sister, oh wait, I do remember the guy who hit me. He was an old guy. It was an old guy. Okay, maybe not old guy, but like, he definitely wasn't in his like 20s, definitely not in his 30s. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even his 40s. So as like college, I think I was probably like 18, 19 years old. To me, he was an old guy. And so my sister at that time had a car, and I'm like, I think you have to drive me to the emergency room, because I think I might have broken something. Like, I don't know if I can move my hand properly, and this really hurts. Like, it's really bad. And so she's like, but I don't know where to park at the emergency room. I'm like, really? That's what you're cared about? Instead of your sister being like injured, you don't know where to park? That's what you're worried about? Oof, sugar baby meet cute. Yeah, no. And so my sister at that time was already in grad school, and so I had always joked from even when I was in high school of like, how cute would it be if, oh no, a cute guy on his bike runs you over, oh no, and that's your meet cute. But who gets run over by a bike? Leon does. And is it a cute guy? It is an old guy. And so she's in grad school at that time. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if? Because there's like separate libraries for certain departments, and I remember the library that she used to go to very often was the med library. She wasn't a med student, but like that was a library that was dedicated for her department as well. And so being young and naive, I'm like, oh no, what if it's like a shoujo anime? What if you're studying in the med library between the stacks of books? Not that anyone uses those books ever, because like honestly, a lot of these books are like obsolete. Like they're so old, no one even uses these books anymore. But like I'm like, what if you're in the med library and like a medical student or like a whatever student, or maybe a doctor, maybe a resident, maybe a someone, you know, comes by with a stack of books, he didn't see you and he trips and like the books fall over you, and oh no, that's your meet cute. I've been saying this for so long before I got hit by a bike, and then after I got hit by a bike, I'm like, I am never mentioning that. Not very cute. Yeah, it wasn't cute. And then so after I got hit by a bike by an old guy, I'm like, I take it all back. No more bicycle meet cutes and no more library meet cutes. Because what if one day I get into grad school and I use that same library? And what if one day an old fart of a professor has a book up to his eyes and he can't see, and he drops it all on me and gives me a concussion and all the stuff I've been reading at that library? What if I get an amnestic event and I don't remember anything I'm studying, and then I had to take more time to study? Like, knowing my luck, that's what's gonna happen. So I'm like, screw the meet cute. Screw it, I'm never bringing it up ever again. Delusions shattered, reality faced. Yeah. And so, even nowadays, when I'm like, oh, that'd be a really cute story, I can never think of meet cutes with any possible injuries involved. I feel like, you know how I was saying before, how like you can manifest things into happening, self-fulfilling prophecies? I will never have any more prophecies that involve bodily harm, any bodily injury. Because I'd be a little bit too clumsy and I'd be tempting fate a little bit too much. And so yeah, I hope if I ever meet my future whatever, if I do even have a future whatever, I hope it's very safe. I hope it's like a Costco or something. Because honestly, your girl be too lazy, and I won't meet anyone unless it's at Costco. Manifest myself into winning the lottery and meeting a cool scientist while I travel. I manifest retiring early and traveling as much as I can. And honestly, I don't know if I care about dating, because being single is kind of nice. I eat when I want to, I stream when I want to, I do whatever I want to do. The only hard part is like being like 5'1.5" and like looking young enough, and I don't think I can intimidate. Actually, no, I do intimidate people at work. Apparently my trainees do get intimidated by me, but like traveling wise, I feel like I could be an easy enough target. Even when I went to Korea, I think I might have told this story before. Oh gosh, another story. Last one, I swear, last one. The half an inch is super important. Yeah, I've explained this half inch so many times because it's so important. But like when I went to Korea, I went on my own. And when I went to one of the not as popular palaces, because it was near a street market that I really wanted to go to. It was so close by that I'm like, oh, I'll just hit both. And I was trying to go kind of off the beaten path a little bit to the garden or like a greenhouse. I can't remember what it was. And I'm like, oh, it's still a touristy-ish attraction, not a super popular one, but it's touristy enough that I think it might be safe for me to kind of go around this kind of foresty area to get to the gardens. And as I'm walking, and like the amount of people start thinning out a lot, where it's just me and I see this guy ends up stopping me, and he's like, oh, I think he first tries to speak to me in Korean. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Korean. And he starts speaking to me in English. He's like, oh, I really like your style. And I wonder if it's just like based off of what I'm wearing, he can tell that I'm a foreigner, even though he tried to speak Korean to me initially. And so, sad cry face. Yeah, it was very sad cry face for me. And so I ended up or like he ended up saying like, oh, I really like your style. I'm like, oh, thank you. And he's like, are you alone? I'm like, what kind of guy asks a girl if she's alone? Like, I don't know if like I gave him like, oh, you're a creeper type vibes, but I have never made up a story of a fake boyfriend that fast in my life. Like, I'm not a very creative person, but I do like stories and whatnot. So I daydream. I do make up stories in my head a lot, but it was at lightning speed. I all of a sudden have a boyfriend that is at our hotel room, and he is at his computer, at his laptop for last minute business things that he has to do for work. And because of that, I ended up at this castle alone, and I'm just waiting for him to join me. All of a sudden, even though I'm in Korea alone, all of a sudden, I have this boyfriend and his looks and his job, and I have everything down to the details within like 0.5 seconds. And like, language barrier, surely he had good intentions. As a girl, I can't assume good intentions, because if anything bad were to happen, the person who would be blamed would be me, not the guy who was bad, not the villain, not the criminal, but the girl who was too naive and too dumb. Your 6'5" CEO boyfriend, yeah. All of a sudden, you're not wrong. Like, I was humble. See, he wasn't a CEO, but he was a businessman, and he was high up in the hierarchy of business. And so that's why he was on his laptop in our hotel room, our shared hotel room, mind you, because he will then know that I disappeared immediately, and we had plans to see each other for lunch. And like, when I tell you that story came within like half a second, it was so fast. I'm gonna press X to doubt his intentions, right? 100%. Yeah. And so I can't remember what got me into this tangent. Oh, the traveling on my own. Yeah. I think I would still be willing to travel on my own, at least to Japan. Because I've gone there a few times. I feel like if I'm just smart about it, I should be okay. And even though that happened in Korea, I feel like I might be able to blend in enough where like I won't stick out like a sore thumb. So maybe if I'm just keep to, you know, safe, smart practices, I might be okay. Man is such a liar for safety reasons. You have to be. I would prefer to be a liar than to be dead. So I will lie my way out of unsafe situations at a drop of a hat. And so luckily I think that was the only time that I got kind of scared. Oh, actually, wait, no. I think when I went to Vegas on my own at one time... Oh, wait, I don't do Vegas on my own often. Anyways, I'm not gonna say how many times I've done it, but I remembered I was trying to go out to watch like a Cirque du Soleil show. I was trying to get some cheap tickets, and so I was leaving my hotel room. This was on the Strip. And so, braver than me, I can't lie to save my life. I can't lie in general because I feel too guilty. Not if my life is on the line. And so, when I went to Vegas and I was on my own at that time, I remembered seeing like a group of guys, and just how like I guess like traffic, like not traffic, like not like car traffic, but just like walking traffic was. It would have been awkward for me to hang out and not just kind of follow the flow, but it ended up being me, really no one behind me, and not too many close people either, and this like group of like 3 to 4 guys, and they were like, oh, who are you with? Are you with anyone? Okay, I'm not gonna assume genders on what genders you guys are, how old you guys are in chat, but like, please don't ever ask a girl if she's alone. It's scary as a girl to get that answer, especially if you are alone. That's where the fisticuffs come in for me. I have no muscle mass. I can't hit anyone to save my life. And I'm also, I've never hit someone before, so even if it comes to physical like blows, I don't know if I can do it. But like, honestly, as a girl, it's so scary to be asked, are you alone? Like, why would you ask that? Yeah, Vegas sucks. I don't know. I have a soft spot for Vegas. I like the shows, I like people watching, I like pretty, I like taking pictures, and the food can be really good too. Well, that's unnerving for them to ask. I have a friend in Vegas, gotta ask them safe places to be, because I know there are sketchy places in Vegas, and like I try to avoid sketch, but even along the strip, and like I'm not from Vegas, so I don't know everything, I just know as a tourist, but even with that, I don't know the exact places. Like certain areas of the strip look like kind of like an alley, like that there's a lot of people, so I don't know if that's considered safe or not safe. But at the same time, like, don't go asking a girl if she's on her own, and don't start following her to ask her questions either. It's scary, okay? Oh my gosh, careful. Don't tell people where you live. It can be dangerous. Don't go doxing yourself. Yes, it is. Yes, it is creepy, or it is dangerous, or both. Okay, enough stories, cause otherwise I'm gonna tell like 10 more stories, and I last said I was gonna end stream initially, I think like 40 minutes ago. Both, yeah. Okay, so, kind of future plans for this upcoming week. Tomorrow's gonna be a very, very, very bad work day for me, that even though like technically at a certain time I'm supposed to be off the clock, oftentimes we end up having to work overtime. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 3 or 4. And so sometimes do I work 12 hours or 16? It's hard to know. And so I can't guarantee anything for tomorrow. Actually, no, I'm gonna say that there's gonna be for sure no stream tomorrow. But depending on how tomorrow goes and how dead I'm gonna be on Tuesday, I'm hoping to release out a schedule, like an actual schedule, probably late Tuesday or hopefully by mid-Wednesday, maybe even Wednesday night. Before you go, if you haven't heard of it, I recommend looking to the RPG one-shot with the little cat child Nico. Wait, what's it about though? What's it about? One-shot. Is it pretty? A puzzle adventure game? Wait, I clicked on not weird things, I clicked on the wrong thing. I don't know if the art style is really like, oh, actually, wait a minute. Alright, I'll look into it a little bit more, but yeah, I'll look into it. If it, puzzle IQ check. So, I did well in school. I'm the type that can study well, and if I need to memorize things or if it's logical, then I can do it. But my IQ, it might be at the level of like room temperature water. And so don't judge me, cause I'm not good with stuff like that. All I can do is study. Oh my! Don't laugh! Don't laugh! At least I know, at least I'm upfront about it, okay? And like honestly, I'm so bad at puzzles. Like one last thing and then I'm gonna go. And like I think we had to do Sudoku for my math class, 7th and 8th grade. When I tell you, even though like my grade in that class, I had the highest grade. I always had the highest grade in math because they would also give extra credit too. So not only would I get 100% on tests, I would also get the extra credit, right? So my grade was always above 100%. I would never be the one to finish a Sudoku. Man, our non-video gamer. Hey, when I was playing Final Fantasy 14 a little bit more regularly, I was able to do the savage raids, and like I wasn't dying all the time either. Huh, nerd. And what of it? Huh? I'm pretty sure you're a nerd too. What of it? I'm a nerd. I'm proud of it. So anyways, so schedule-wise, I won't bet on having the schedule uploaded on Tuesday. Hopefully by Wednesday. I do want to play a little bit more Fields of Mystria. Hopefully we can do a little bit more Paralives as well. But honestly, I kind of just enjoy yapping a little bit too. I know I do yap a little bit in the beginning before we start stream. Or not start stream, but before we start the game. But honestly, kind of just like a low-key lap session is kind of fun too. So I think between this upcoming Tuesday and the next Tuesday, which is kind of my chiller work week, I'm aiming for around maybe 3 streams, maximum maybe 4. If I do more than 3, one of them might be like a gorilla. I'll let you guys know like a few hours ahead of time. As long as you don't stream on TikTok, I'll be there to listen. No guarantees. I feel kind of bad because like I do have some people that like watch me only on TikTok, and I think it's been at least, has it been like a week and a half yet? And like I kind of feel bad ditching them, but at the same time, YouTube is my main platform, or like I would like for it to become my main platform. The other thing is that I feel like when I stream on TikTok, after a certain time, minus the people that like I already know, that like I wouldn't call my regulars, but like for people that I kind of have like an idea of who they are, minus those people, sometimes I get certain comments that are questionable, and I think they can get a lot more flirtatious there too. The amount of times I've had people go like, "Can I call you mommy?" Like, and then just like pop into chat and like disappear like a minute later, and like there, and that's not even like the worst offense there too. I think there's like some people using like expletives that I'm like, well, why do you think that's okay to say those things? And so I do love my TikTok crew, but sometimes it's just be the wild west over there. I hope that you stream on TikTok. I'm always watching VTubers. Okay. I don't know if you follow me already on TikTok, but if I'm streaming there, I'll look out for your name too. When you were gone, I thought you were on TikTok the whole time. No. I was at work the whole time. I was dying the whole time. There was a week that I wasn't streaming much on YouTube, and I did like a little bit on TikTok. But no, the 5 days that I was gone, I disappeared the face off. Was it 5 days? It might have been even longer. I think it felt at least like almost like a whole week, even though it might not have. It's because work was kicking my butt. The weirdo ones that drift in, yeah. I don't know why, but I feel like on YouTube, I either have people that come by that like I start really recognizing your guys' name. Like I'm like, oh, it's so and so again. It's like when you have a coffee shop and you're like, my regular who often likes to order this. Like I kind of know you guys, and even if like I wouldn't really know people who lurk, but like at least for people who comment, like I'm like, I know you guys. But over on TikTok, I don't know if it's just because like people are just like swiping through live streams, or it's just like it pops up on like your For You page. Like and like maybe they're a little bit more open on commenting. Like I'll get some crazy comments sometimes. 100%. You see those too, don't you? But at the same time, like my TikTok crew, like I don't want to abandon them either. So I'm trying to figure out multi-streaming. Eventually, I'll get it on so that I stream to both TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. But that's future me's problem. Current Lian is a little on the lazy side, too lazy to figure that out. So future Lian will have to figure it out for current Lian. Anywho, oh my gosh, it's almost 3 hours. Oh my gosh, what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's past my bedtime. Bye guys. I'll hopefully see you either Wednesday or Thursday. I'll put the schedule up and let you guys know. But bye, good night, Miss Lian. Don't let work take you out. I think it already did. Bye, Irvin. Bye. Bye, Ignacio too, if you're still here. Bye. What's with the laughing face? Are you laughing at my mystery? Mystery loves company, and I might make you part of my company, okay? That's a threat. Bye.